Salam alaikum, everybody. How are you, inshallah? Yeah, my brother Martin is here. Hi, Martin.
Muji, how are you,
Oh,
man?
I'm fine, thank you. How about you?
I'm good, man. Much better than I deserve. Much better than I deserve. I have power. I have
Oh, very
power.
good, very good. Just I play this first. Yeah, for those who uh, haven't
So they can
subscribed.
subscribe to
Yeah,
Muji.
yeah.
See
How
his
are you?
face every week.
Yeah,
I'm
how
good,
are
man.
you?
I'm good.
Very
And
good.
you?
I'm fine, thank you. I hope that
How's it going in Sweden there?
it is fine, not so warm here.
Luckily.
Yeah, yeah. No,
You know?
actually, no. We want a little bit, a little
Okay.
bit heat because otherwise we cannot take the winter, long winter.
But not UK heat, like the 40
Yeah, yeah.
degrees.
UK is
It's
warm,
crazy, yeah?
yes. Yeah, and even Belgium, those parts is very warm. It's just here,
How,
Sweden.
how cold is it there now?
It now today is 30 degree. Yeah, it's fine, but it's just going to be today. Maybe tomorrow is going to drop again, 20, 23, something.
Degrees Celsius.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's not bad. It's
No, but
warmer
the thing
than.
is that yeah,
Hmm.
but the thing is that you cannot swim because the water is not so warm. You cannot swim,
Okay.
you know, enjoying it much.
Don't you have jacuzzis or something like that, Muji?
Jacuzzi.
Jacuzzis.
Jacuzzi. No, we don't
Yeah,
have.
jacuzzis.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I was going
Did you
to say.
see, Mujit, did you look at the stuff we talked about last week? Or didn't you get time yet? Or
Oh, yeah, yeah. The one about slave. Yeah,
yes, that as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. It was just that one you said, and I was going to what is it to look up. I've checked actually different interpretation. And can you remind me again, please? Let me see, Google. Which verse was it? Verse, because I look
Um,
at the different
I'll have to
chapter.
go get it. Wait, let
Let
me
me see.
see if I can get this Quran
Quran.
verses. But I also see in
I
the
think it
voodoo.
was
Do you,
60,
do you,
68:42, no? Or was it that?
let me just make sure. Wait, wait. Um, I have too many things open. Okay, let me see.
I tell you right away that it was several translation that was submitted, that we are submitted. Somebody who submit his, as we say also Muslims are submitted to Allah's will. Understand? It's not a slave.
I don't see it now.
Okay, I think
Wait,
it
wait. Yeah, I
was,
see it.
okay, what was
It's
that?
Surah 19 verse
90,
93.
19,
19 verse 93.
yeah.
But do you do voodoo? What do you call it?
Wudu, yes, yes. Yeah, when you
Almost,
wash
no?
your hands and,
Yes.
face. Yeah, yeah,
You do
of
that
course.
five times a day or three times a
Yeah,
day
yeah.
or what?
Before every prayer.
But I see they say that you have to say that in that you have to say that Muhammad was a slave of Allah or something. Um,
Uh, no,
do you say like that in Arabic or something like that?
no. I don't know who are they, but we just, we do the wudu and then we go for prayer. Okay,
Okay.
and this is slave. Salam alaikum, Sayyid. I told you that word abd is submissive. That you are submit to his will. Okay, his order, his laws. Understand what
Mm,
he asks you. So if you want, I can bring you different translation if you want.
go for it.
Okay.
The Muji
Let me,
translation,
no, no. It is.
huh?
It is. Let me see. Quran awakening. Okay. Just let me show you. Okay. Let me share. Let me share it. Share screen. Which one is that? Okay. Share.
Because
I
we need
think it's.
someone that speaks Arabic, I think.
What happened? Oh no, this is not that. Let me remove this. Um, where is it? Is that one? Ah, yeah. Okay. Let me once again share screen. Tap it. Share screen. It's written. Okay, here I am, Mariam. All right, you see that, yeah?
Mm.
And okay, let me check. Companion full submission. You see that the second one.
Mm.
First one is done as a servant. Second one is in full submission. Third one is servant to the merciful. Then when you go down again, a servant. Okay, okay. Sorry. Uh, mm, uh,
Do you have to take it, Muji?
there is no. It's not a phone. Actually, I'm on Zoom also.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, after there was some music, I turned it on. Anyway, sorry. The again we see
There's one with slave,
beneficial
Muji.
as yes, I know. I say somebody has translated like that, but it is wrong. Full submission again,
But
servant.
we need
Many of them.
someone that speaks Arabic, then they can translate each word
This
for us.
look,
Because
look,
I
like
see it says a slave. Yeah, if I hover
yeah, yeah.
over the word,
I
it
know.
says a slave.
Yeah, yeah. But Martin,
Mm.
there are many things in Quran that you cannot just translate it. You have to interpret it. Okay.
Okay.
So, like as I say, like many times I say, if an American says that I am, when come out from a basket game, you say, "How was it?" And then he say, "It was
Mm.
hot." Yeah, you cannot translate that one to other languages, so you have to interpret it. In other languages, perhaps will be it was nice. Yeah, the hot will change to nice. So many things
Mm.
in Quran you cannot translate; you have to interpret it. So this is, as you see, they speak Arabic who have translated as well. So somebody would like to translate it as a slave. Let them be a slave. So okay,
But
and
if only we can read the original text and then we can know.
I,
But
I read
do you?
I read it for you. Abd is abd. That's somebody who obey. It's coming from obeying.
Let me see if I click on it.
I wish that
Abada. It's
yeah.
abada
Yeah. Abd is the single word. Yeah. I wish that
as a slave.
yeah. I wish that what is it? Rashid could join us as well. Eva, hi Eva, how
Hi,
are you?
hi. But
Mhm.
Muji, do you have a video of how to do voodoo? Voodoo.
Yeah, there are so many on YouTube. You can
A
check.
short, because I have a short clip here, but they say you have to say that Muhammad is
Okay,
a slave of Allah and stuff.
all
So
right.
I don't know why.
Okay,
What do
I
you
will.
say? What do you
I
say?
will. I don't say anything, special. I just do the voodoo and then I go for pray because the voodoo is about being clean. Understand? Washing yourself and being clean. Slave, servant, equal servant. Okay, Sayyid. But
So
that's
do
a
you have a
very
video that you can show Muslims to how to do voodoo the right way, like and what to
yeah.
say in voodoo?
Look,
Isn't there a short clip that
yeah,
you can
mhm,
play for us or
yeah,
something?
yeah. I will check it next week. Yeah, but I think these are not so important parts. Yeah, for me, the most important parts are how to live. How to solve the problems of the world. Yeah, those are the most important. These are we say minor things. Understand? To understand why we are praying, that's more important than how to pray. Understand? If you don't understand why you are praying, so what is the different how you pray? So I will remove this so that we see
Okay.
each other better. Okay.
But
Yeah.
Muji, they're gonna do this 5 times a day for the rest of their life, so they better
Yes.
do
Yes.
it the right way.
I say. I say. I say the
Say
most
the right
important,
things. And
yes,
stuff.
yes, the most important, yeah, that's one we can come to as well. But the most
Mm,
important is that why you are praying. Okay, that's the most important. First, we have to understand why we are praying, why we are standing towards Mecca, understand which why we are saying these words, okay, what they mean, and so on. So these are the most. Salam alaikum, brother Rashid. Yeah, salam
hey,
alaikum,
Rashid,
brother Rashid. Yes, it's here.
come join
So
us.
yeah, brother Rashid knows Arabic. Brother Rashid, we were
Yes, so
talking
you can
about the abd. Yeah, that I was
wait.
saying is not
Let me.
slave.
Abada, not
Is a
abd. Abada.
is yeah, but it comes from abd also. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
and like Abdullah. Okay, Abdullah. It's a
Mm.
Abdullah, a abd of Allah. Okay, so somebody who is submitted.
So how
Yes,
would you say slave then?
I don't know. That's I have to see. Maybe brother Rashid knows better. He knows Arabic. Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like say if the Quran wanted to say,
yeah. Assalamu alaikum,
"Hi,
brother Rashid.
yes, Rashid."
Alaikum salam.
Yeah, brother Rashid. This the word abd. We read it and it was translated as submissive. Yeah, but Martin said that of course some of them the translation was written slave. Yeah, but because I say that it is submissive to will of Allah. Okay, we are not slave, we are submitted to will of Allah. So that's giving this meaning. So he asked, what is the word slave in Arabic?
Abd.
Abd is also slave. Yeah,
Yes,
but the translation was written also that submitted. Okay.
that would be, that would be Muslim or istaslama for someone who submits.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the word for, as in, well, it's not exact. It is, you can use it for both slave and servant. So
Hmm.
actually, both words. Um, but within, and you can, but it's, you can understand it through that sort of lens. I understand it as servant, but it
Hmm.
can mean also slave. So you don't have like a different between. Uh, we're speaking about at that time, for example. You don't have like a different word for it, but mainly it referred to servant or slave mostly. I would say that.
Okay, but for me, I as understand it as submissive, as also was. I take it. Interpret it. I take that interpretation as submissive to his will. Okay, not like we are humiliated as a slave. Okay, we are someone who, because we are the best creature of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala on this planet. Yeah, so
Yeah,
yes, we. I mean,
problem.
those who say that, oh, it's you are a slave, so they want to somehow humiliate. Understand?
No, but the thing is that when you say the word abd, for example, yes, it is used for someone who has enslaved themselves to someone or something. Like
Hmm.
for example, when you use it as a verb, like abada.
Hmm.
Uh, by the way, this is not the same thing as an abid. Those are two
Hmm.
words, two different words. An abid and abd are two different things.
Hmm.
So they don't mean the same thing. But when
Yeah.
someone who has enslaved themselves to someone or something or an ideology, or who
Hmm.
serves a certain ideology, a certain purpose, then that person is also called an abd
Hmm.
as per the term. So it can
Yeah.
be used in way to mean like a slave. For example, when Allah says, "Wala abadum, wala abdum min wal abdum mu'minun khayrum min mushrikin." So when Allah says, for example, that ana abd who is a mu'min is better than ana abd who is a mushrik.
Hmm.
Okay, so in that case, for example, you would use it to refer to slave, and
Hmm.
for the female, it would be amatun. That is a female who is a you know who's a
Yeah,
slave.
yeah.
You say,
Okay.
for example, Allah says in the Quran that do not let, if I remember the correct wording for it in English, but he basically tells that don't let uh, your female servants, for
Mm-hmm.
example, speaks about your female servants, and the word, for example, he uses min ibadikum wa imaikum, for example, it
Mm-hmm.
is from among your ibadikum, from among your, which is servants or slaves,
Mm-hmm.
or from among your wa imaikum, which would be female and male slaves.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, Allah is recognizing that there were at the time a slave, and the
Yeah, yeah.
word that is within the Quran for those people is also abd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Muji, what's that sound, Muji? Hmm? You're playing sounds for us.
No, it's a very short video because it's a Zoom. Yeah, there is some uh, little music. It will finish. Yeah, I have to be also live there.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Uh,
Okay. You're being
I
everywhere.
actually it was going to be
But
tomorrow. Yeah, it was
mm,
a meeting MEK has that was going to be tomorrow, but the Albanian government warned them that there might be a terrorist attack. So that's why they canceled it tomorrow. So they started. That's why I had it today. I had it today so that I participate in this tomorrow. Yeah, but
mm.
suddenly they changed it for tonight. So I'm um, also live there at the same time.
You're gonna multitask.
Yeah.
Okay, but Rashid, I wanted to ask you, how do you do voodoo? Because I see that you have to say that Muhammad was Allah's slave and messenger or something at the end
Well,
in some of these voodoo videos.
yeah, I mean, there's this tradition within the Sunnism and also some sects within Shia, where they say that after you finish doing the wudu, for example, you say the La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah after you finish you doing the wudu. Before you begin, you say the Bismillah, and then after you finish, you do the La ilaha. You say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and which would be a different version of that within Shiism, but um, but that is more of a like a traditional thing. It's not. It doesn't go back to the prophet. Like the prophet never actually say La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah after doing wudu. Wouldn't it make sense? This is just something that people liked to say, so they just put it there at the end. It wasn't something that is original to the prophet.
Yeah, I
Or
just thought it came from that verse or something, or from the hadith or something that they
no,
gave. Mm.
no, there's no hadith as in that it goes back to the prophet particularly. um, there is this just sort of like a tradition that just evolved over time, and then people wanted to find justification for it. So there were certain weak narrations that were attributed to some of the companions of the prophet, that they would say this kind of thing after performing the wudu, but there's really nothing that is specific or about it. I don't think that.
So you would say to these Muslims that they are wrong that when they say that Muhammad was Allah's slave, or what would you say?
Well,
And
no. I mean, no. I mean, the belief in itself. We do believe that the Prophet Muhammad is Allah's abd. Is among and it is considered as an honorable title when it is to God, but when it is to other people, then it is considered dishonorable. So you have to
okay,
understand in that way. Like for example, when Allah calls, for example, Muhammad the servant of God, when he calls Dawood as Abd, when he calls Isa as Abd, Jesus as Abd, when he calls angels as his you know as his
Servant, maybe servant is better. Yeah.
yeah, that's the thing, is
It's a
that that's
better.
what I'm saying, is that for
Yeah.
God we understand it in a way of it being in servitude, that we serve God. It's
Yes.
also the same word that is carried from the Hebrew biblical tradition. For example, you have the prophet um, Obadiah, you know him. He has a book within the Bible. There's a book dedicated to that prophet. You are familiar with him, Martin?
What's that?
The prophet Obadiah.
I'm
The
not sure.
the
I
there is a prophet
Yeah.
within the Bible. He has
There's
a
lots of prophets. Yeah.
Yeah, there is a prophet. Yes, I know. But there is a
Mm.
prophet with the name Obadiah. He has a book dedicated to him in the Old Testament, and that name Obadiah means that name Obad or Abd. It's the Arabic. The Arabic would be Abd, and Obadiah would be a servant or an Abd of Yah. Yah being the shortened version for Yahweh.
Yeah.
So Obadiah would be a servant or slave of Yah. So you have that kind of thing, because Arabic and Hebrew are very close to each other in terms of many words. They resemble each other very, very much, many, many words. So the same thing with the word Abd. It just
Yeah. I
means,
see it says servant, of Yah.
yeah. So
So
Obadiah,
that's for Yahweh, right?
yeah. So
But that's
exactly.
not the same God as Allah, or what? Or would you
Yeah,
also guys call it
well, yeah,
Allah, Yahweh?
it is the same God, because within the Quran, for example, you have different prophets such as Elijah, who is called Elias, or Zachariah, who is Zacharias. You have Yahya. So you have these different prophets who also retain the name Yah within the Quran itself. So it would suggest to us that the name Yah, it is a name for God, but it was specific for the Jewish people that they were utilizing for God. And the Quran doesn't deny that, or doesn't say that this is the wrong name for God. No, the name Yahweh, for example, in of itself, it has a good meaning within it. If you to look at the tetragrammaton name, the four letters, if you are to look at where or what they could mean, if you look at the word itself, it 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 carries with it beauty. I mean, so it would also qualify for being a name of God. It just happens to be, a different kind of language, but it is the same God. I would say that it is the same God 100%.
I wish it's the same God.
I myself do sometimes refer to God as Yahweh.
Did you watch Apostate Prophet video about that?
Yeah, I saw
About
it,
So
but
what?
that so
I
that's
don't.
where you saw mm,
About what?
That's why I saw
about
it.
the names that is in the Quran
No,
that
I knew that
was
from a long.
mm,
No, I knew that from a long time ago. All the names of the biblical prophets, I know that. The names of. That's why I came up with Obadiah. That's why I told you about that, because he didn't mention that. How else would I know that? I knew that a long time ago about the endings of the names. I knew that, for example, Elijah, or it means that Yah is my God, or Yah is God. I knew all that long before he made that video, like years and years ago when I started. Because when I started learning, I actually started with a biblical tradition. And so I looked at the different prophets because we had the same in common. And I also wondered the same thing about the Yah name, or Yahweh. Why doesn't it occur within the Quran? But then I found out that it does occur, but in terms of the different prophets' names, that it is still carried even within the Quran. So the Quran has no problem, you know, taking on that name, if you understand what I'm saying.
but did you see which Muji calls
Can you
Daniel
guys talk?
ISIS Jew?
Daniel
That
Haqiqat.
Can you come?
yeah,
Can you guys talk? I will come in a few minutes. Can you
Yeah,
talk?
sure.
okay.
Okay,
But
Sure.
I will
Muji
come
calls
soon.
him Daniel ISIS Jew, and he said he tried to get out of it by saying that Yahweh is a false god taken up by the Jews or something. I don't know if you saw that
Yeah,
um,
I
video,
don't.
because he doesn't know who Yahweh is. It's not
Yeah,
his
I think
God's
he must
name.
must not be familiar with biblical tradition. Absolutely. I mean, this is as clear as it is day. For personally for me, I mean, this is a name that was used for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and prophets were coming. Why didn't they just change their names? If they thought that, hey, this is a false god. I mean, even we have within Islamic tradition that the Prophet Muhammad used to change names of people if they were named after the false gods. So, for example, people who were called Abdul Uzza, that is the servant of Uzza. Uzza was one of the goddesses of around who were worshipped during the time of the Prophet, and the Prophet would change that. He would change it to maybe Abdullah or Abdurrahman. He would change the name to carry the name of God instead of a false deity. So you're telling me that all these different prophets that were coming for thousands and thousands of years saw no problem being named after a false god, but when Muhammad comes, he sees a problem with it and changes it. The whole thing, just for me personally, it doesn't have much weight to it, unless maybe he was not aware of that. It could be that he was just speaking out of awareness, or maybe he was just embarrassed that that we would call God Yahweh. I think it was out of embarrassment, I think.
What do you say about him? Would you say he's on the right path, or is he a little bit deceived? Or because I see a lot of Muslims follow him, so
Yeah.
a lot of people take what he says really serious.
No, I think that he has I mean, we all have our different, there are different things within our lives that, you know, influence how we think when we are grown up. So he must have grown up with a different kind of, a kind of view on life. And he just found within Islam something that spoke to that view that he already had. So I don't think that Islam necessarily gave him, this personality, or gave him this, view completely. No, I think that he was leaning that side even prior to Islam. I don't think that he was too far away from that. That Islam, he just found that there's a part of Islam that, that does, that would adapt well to his own thinking. So he just took that route and, went with it. And, he has no problem, you know, calling for silent violence, and calling for subjugation of other people, and calling for, you know, uh, women being silenced, or women being relegated to the home role. I mean, even that thing that he said once, when he said that employment is like slavery, and I was or is better than slavery. I mean, I don't know where he came up with that, to be honest. But I mean, we all have our different things
Well,
that
sorry.
Muji should debate him, so that we can see who has
Yeah,
the true.
yes.
I don't like it.
I don't know what you. I don't know what you were talking about, but I just say that
Daniel ISIS Jew
uh,
that you call ISIS
I know,
Jew.
I know, I know,
So
I know, I know. Just I saw a clip from him. Somebody was playing it. That he was saying. I don't know if Brother Rashid also was talking about that. That he was saying about slavery. That's good. That you what is it? It's better that you are owned than you are hired. And he was saying, imagine a car. You own a car, or you are. He doesn't. He's so ignorant. He doesn't understand that we are talking about human beings, not cars. Yeah, he was saying, imagine it's better to be, to have a car than to rent a car. Such a, terrible. That, for example, with David Wood, he was saying that, oh, this is. I think he was talking about Bani Quraida, and then he was saying, yeah, of course, you also have in Christianity this and that. Okay, we are not talking about. If something is wrong, then it's wrong in any religion. Okay, so if you cannot say, okay, it is wrong in our religion, but your religion has also something wrong. So he's totally, uh,
yeah,
for
it's
me,
called the
totally ignorant.
QCO fallacy. That's called the QCO fallacy, Muji. It's like when I lie and I say, "But Muji has lied as well," so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, he was saying that if you are barbarian, then you are barbarian too. Of course, that's fine, because you are barbarian.
So when are you gonna
I
debate
wanted
him,
to
Muji?
show. Yes, I have asked James, but James said he's not so maybe interested for people. The two Muslims
Mm.
debate each other. Otherwise, I want to. There was a. another so-called, I don't know, he was a scholar, he was saying himself, somebody was saying, oh, he's a scholar, but he was on Facebook. I asked him, let's have a debate, and then he ran away. I don't know, I showed you as well, guys. So first he said, yes, have a debate, and then he was asking me before we decided to have a debate on his Facebook. He was asking, oh, what are your questions? I said, no, I will say it when we are going live. No, can you put it here? I said, you're running away. And then finally he ran away, because he started to be nervous that, oh, what he's going to ask, maybe I cannot answer. So that's why. And there was another scholar, Sheikh Masari. um, he was a sheikh from Saudi Arabia, living in London. He debated me, but he didn't share the video. He never published it because what is it? It was about stoning adulterers. Brother Rashid, he was blaming. He wasn't saying that the hadith is fabricated, very easily. He was saying, blaming on Umar radiallahu. He was saying that, oh, Umar radiallahu was old. He didn't know that this verse was abrogated, and he said about this, and then he was making Umar radiallahu, something cocoa, that he said it was his fault that he said that this verse, despite it was abrogated. And I was asking him why it was abrogated. It was fine to stone people, then why it was abrogated? He couldn't answer. So it was fine to stone people, and then later became, okay, now it's not fine. Okay, continue. Now lashing is better. So
Yeah,
that's why, anyway.
I mean, I don't
That,
personally buy all those explanations that people give for accepting this sort of punishment. But I mean, to
yes,
comment
yes.
on just one thing that I also wanted to mention about the names of God, or that thing that Martin asked, in case he comes back.
Crashed.
Uh, One thing that I wanted to clear up on the name of God. I mean, personally, for me, I don't, philosophically speaking, I don't think that God has a name, like a personal name. I don't
Yeah, yeah.
believe, particularly that he has, like a personal name, because I mean, okay, did he always have that name, like, or did he just, or did he give it to
Can I
himself?
help you? Can I
Like,
help you, Brother Rashid? Let me tell you like this, okay? For example, there was a debate between one atheist and one, it was Ahmadiyya, yeah, Ahmadiyya Imam. And then I was there, somebody asked that Ahmadiyya Imam that why God is referred to he, yeah? They call him he. Is it a male? He couldn't answer. So I helped him. I said that it is in English, okay? In English, because they think that Jesus was God and Jesus was a man. That's why I refer to him he. Okay, but for example, in Arabic, it doesn't have any gender, and in for example, in Persian, we for example, we don't have he or she like that. We refer to everything like it. Okay, so it is language. How to better to say is all about language, that you want to refer to something, then you have to use something, you have to use a name, or you have to use a gender. In some language you don't need even to use the gender, understand? So maybe it's better, this explanation is correct, that okay, we should refer to him with something, so there should be a name, understand?
yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
understand that.
what do you think,
I mean,
Brother Rashid?
yes, I understand that, but I mean, for me personally, I mean, that's speaking philosophically. I think for the sake of ease of use, that we identify God with
Mm-hmm.
names for the sake of ease of use. But I don't think that he has a personal
Mm-hmm.
name. As far as gender is concerned, I think that the Quran speaks from a male perspective. It assumes the male voice, when God is speaking. For I'll
Mm-hmm.
give you some examples. Well, the fact that the word "hua" is used and not "here," for example, that's one of the things. "Hua,"
Mm-hmm.
which can mean it. Yes, I agree with that. um it can mean it in Arabic, but it can also mean he. um that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the things. But another thing is that it whoever God is, as far as the Quran is concerned, cannot be ascribed to with a female gender. And by that, I need to clarify exactly what I mean. I mean that within the Quran, you can argue for that God appears to speak through a male voice. You can say that. But what you can't say
Mm-hmm.
is that you can ascribe the female aspect to God whatsoever. Because, for example, the Quran says, "Anna yakunu lahu walad, walam takul lahu sahiba," and that's a very, very telling verse. It asks a question. It says, "How?" It asks a question and says, "How could he possibly have a child, a sired child, a biological child, when he or it doesn't have a sahiba?" Now, the word used there for sahiba is female companion. So the assumption is
Mm-hmm.
that the one speaking is male. The assumption, because why
Mm-hmm.
else would you say
Yeah,
when he
assumption.
have or it doesn't have a female companion? He could have just said when he doesn't have a companion, or when it doesn't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
a companion. Could have just said that.
I understand
But,
exactly.
but it says when
Mm-hmm.
it or he doesn't have a female companion,
Mm-hmm.
implying
Yeah,
that
yes.
either A, that the one speaking is attributed the masculine gender or the male gender, you know,
Mm-hmm.
or that
Yeah, yeah.
that because of the stigma that was happening in society. I mean, I personally understand why it is speaking through a male voice. It's just simply the way the culture was at the time, that males were seen within the context of the Quran, that males were seen as the powerful, as the one that were had respect and all that, and that is also um, is imposed onto God. So God, when he speaks above what people's perception of the hierarchy within society was. I understand that for me personally, but I think that when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to
Yes,
gender, you believe that God does not have that gender cannot be attributed to God. Yes, but when the Quran is speaking,
yes,
it
exactly.
does speak, you know, from a masculine or a male voice for God. And it doesn't appear to be a
Yes.
female. I mean, it speaks from a patriarchy, than a matriarch, I
Mm-hmm.
think. Anyway, that's my understanding.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
What?
yes. For example, in Quran, Allah is also referred to himself that he has hands. Okay, these are not, uh, these are metaphorical. For example, that hand uh, can be interpreted as power. Okay, the Jews try to tie Allah's hands. Their own hands is tied. Okay, so it has to be interpreted as Allah's power, not physical hands. So these are things that in Quran we have to understand that these are metaphorical. These are not uh, physical.
Well, I mean, I don't personally read those verses as metaphorical. Actually, I read it as literal. But that doesn't. But I'm not
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
that God has hands.
yeah.
Okay, it should be different. I'm saying that there's a certain
Mhm.
when God speaks, He speaks within human constructs. Okay, so the way we are
Exactly, exactly.
speaks. He speaks. Not, they're not metaphors, because I don't say that here he
Hmm.
means his power. No, 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 no. It means hands.
Yeah.
But the way that God speaks, or the way that God, the revelation of God, in order for us to, form some connection to the divine, or for us to be able to form some sort of relationship with the divine, or some sort of understanding with the divine, or to understand God, let's speaks in these kinds of ways, not because he possesses those sorts of things such as hands or eyes or whatever. No, not
Hmm.
because because the problem with that is, personally, I think when it comes to God, is that because hands have a function. You see, hands have a function, and
Yeah, yeah.
we cannot attribute something like that to God if we are to if the assumption is that God is doesn't need anything. If that's the assumption about God, that God is self-sufficient, he doesn't need anything. If we attribute function to the hands, then we can say without the hands, he cannot carry out that function. You see, if we attribute, a function to the hands, okay, we say he has hands. What does he use the hands
Mhm.
for? Well, we can say he catches things with it. Okay, and we can then ask, okay, but without the hands, would he still catch things? Like, okay, when we attribute, it brings us into sort of like a modalist form for God, and I think that that would cause issues and problems. I mean, personally for me, because once we attribute function to these kinds of things, then those things stop being, how do you say, they stop being um, core to God's essence. Or Martin, if you understand what I'm saying, but they stop being
Mm.
core to God's essence if we attribute function to those things. Because what happens when we say, okay, well, what happens if God does not have these hands? Okay, for example, well, then we say, okay, then he can't catch a ball anymore. Like in that kind of sense. For example, if we say, okay, like God, um, God hears, okay? If we say such a statement, for me personally, if we say God hears, I don't understand what that exactly means. Like, I can't tell you exactly what that means. Because if we say God hears, what about if there is nothing to be heard? That God is only hearing if there is something to be heard. You see, God is
Mm.
seeing if there is something to be seen, or God is merciful if there is something to show mercy. God is good if there is something to be good at. That all these other things are so contingent that they're not core to who God is or to what He is, in my own understanding of who God could possibly be. But the way God speaks or communicates or interacts with humanity or with our human race is through ways in how we can understand. And I take the same reading when I'm reading the biblical narrative. Like when I'm reading the biblical narratives, I see God the way He interacts, for example. I don't think that that's the way He is, or that God has like, like a back or something, that God has legs to walk around, or that God feels sorry or sad or something like that. The Quran, by the way, also talks about God feeling despair, feeling sorry, that kind of feeling. So
Mm.
feeling things, anger, sadness, that kind of thing is also within the Quran. Now, that could come as shocking to some people, but that's because they've not seen these things. These things are not so much out there. People don't usually talk about them. But the same, somewhat the same understanding that you have from the biblical tradition is also carried through in certain aspects of the Quran. So, for example, when Allah says, was speaking about, the people of Moses and Pharaoh, He says, "Falamma asafuna intaqamna minhum." So when they had done asafa on us, asafa is sort of like sadness, despair. When they had disappointed me, that kind of thing, that kind of language. And it says, when they did that, we took a vengeance on them. And that kind of language. So it portrays God as being emotional or being sad. Now, I don't think that is core to God's, to what God is, because if he's only sad if there is something to be sad at. So it's not core to who God is. I don't anyway believe that, but it's sort of like, it kind of like leads you down this path of different understandings of who God can be or who God is. But
Yeah, God can hear our prayers. He doesn't need ears to hear our prayers. But I see Muji in the past said that God needs our obedience.
what?
No,
Is
no,
that
no,
correct, Muji?
no,
Is
no,
that
no,
a,
no, no, no. Wait. Okay.
you said
Uh,
something about
yes.
God needs our obedience or
No.
something?
No. God doesn't need anything, but the one place He asks. Okay. I heard this from that leader of ABK. Yeah, he said that there is a place that He asked us for something for the humanity, and I don't remember, but this is that we obey His command so that we live a better life for ourselves. Okay, not that He needs something. Understand? He just asked from us that we obey Him. Okay, But that is not that he needs us. Okay, we need him. All right, we need him for a guidance to a better life. Understand? Not that he
So you
needs us.
misspoke in the past, or what?
Maybe I
Because
don't
I
remember.
think
No,
you
I don't
you
remember.
said
No, I
need or
don't.
something.
No, he doesn't need anything. But I don't
Okay.
remember if I have said that he needs. But what I have meant, if I have said like that, but what I have meant is that it's for us. Okay, for our own sake. Understand? That
Because you
we
said he doesn't need worship, and I told you
no, he
he
doesn't need
doesn't need it.
worship.
Yeah,
No. I have said that he doesn't need our worship because we are
yeah.
so small. We are nothing. Okay, we are
Mm.
nothing.
But he
So he
asked
doesn't
for,
need.
or
That's for ourselves. Okay, that's for our own, sake. That that's everything we do is not for him. He doesn't need anything. Everything we do is for us. Okay.
but should we
So
worship God?
I mean,
Do you worship God, maybe?
I say I obey his commands. Okay,
So you don't
we
worship
need
him.
to. But I say he doesn't need my worship. Okay, so even if I worship him, he doesn't need that. Understand? What he wants from us is that we obey him. All right. So he doesn't need my worship. That I okay. If he need it, okay. If he really need that, yeah. Okay, I worship him. All right. If he need it, but I know that he doesn't need it. So when he doesn't need it, why I have to give something that. So everything I do is for he does is for our own, our own sake, that we have a better life here. Understand?
So is it good to worship God, or is it
Uh,
good to worship God? Is it a good
I,
thing?
I mean that he. I just say that this is what I say. So you can translate it what you want. Okay. So I want what I say is that he doesn't need that. Okay. So when he
Yeah, he
doesn't need
doesn't
that,
need it, but
yeah.
is it good to do it?
I just say it's good to obey him. All right. So
Okay, so
obey
it's
his
not good
command.
to worship him, or
What is worship? I don't understand what does it
like
mean
praise and
worship.
worship. Like, let me
Yeah,
get the definition
yes,
of
okay. I also
you
yes
praise
praise.
God.
Yeah, I praise. Yeah, I praise him for what he has done for us. Okay, I praise him for his. If you worship, you mean that praising him? Yes, we have to praise him. I praise him also for the
What about
guidance.
worship songs? Do you sing worship songs to him, or no
What is it?
worship songs? Like
Songs?
songs of worships. Like in Christianity, we have a lot of worship songs that we praise God in, and um,
Yeah.
I don't, I don't, I don't. I think in Islam you're not supposed to play instruments, so I don't think
No.
Islam has
It's
so much.
first of all, no. It's not about in the that's the Islam that for me that is Islam that some mullahs, for example, before the Iranian Revolution, yeah, these mullahs they were saying music is haram, and then TV was haram, a radio set was haram, everything was haram. When they got the power, they realized that oh my God, it's not possible without these things, yeah. So everything became halal: TV, radio, music. But the thing is that they say, okay, I understand that some music is not good, like this hard rock. I don't like them. Yeah, they are crazy. All right. But some music that, for example, when it is needed, yeah, necessarily, then of course we need it. For example, I make a movie, I need play music in that movie. Otherwise, it's it's boring. People love or these nature movies. When the lion is running, you play action
Hmm.
music. Otherwise, it's become totally without any motion.
But
So
strict Muslims wouldn't put the music in
I
there,
know,
I think.
yes, they are strict, and I say that because they didn't get the power to run a country. When they got the power to run the country, they realized that it's not possible. So that's why they ban pop music and such things, but they play other music, like traditional music is allowed. Then, for example, when they were sending people to war, they were playing music and such things. Even reciting Quran is itself, if you understand the knowledge of music,
Mhm.
it's itself a music. It's a melody. Okay. So you can play music without any instrument with your mouth. There are many.
Yeah, that's how many Muslims get past it. They just make the
Yeah,
sounds with their mouth, and then
yes.
it's
I
not an
said, but that's
instrument.
that's
They make the
yes. That's
same sound.
what is the difference? It's the same. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
understand what is the different at all. It's the same thing. Okay,
Yeah.
so you make it with your
But they
sound.
try and get past it,
Yes,
Muji,
yes,
because
yes.
they know they're not
Of course.
supposed to play instruments. So
They, brother Rashid, do you see? I haven't seen any single verse of Quran that say music is haram.
We
Have you
don't
seen that?
have a verse. We have neither verse nor I
Yeah.
would say nor
is it
authentic.
an hadith or what?
No,
I
no.
would say,
I don't think
Where
even
did they
hadith.
get it done? Where did the Muslims get it and those Muslims?
there are certain, you see, the thing about religion and the evolvement of the evolution, sorry, and development of religions is that they have a certain period that they go through where they have a certain stigma around certain things. So, for example, things that people would assume are taking them away from maybe the remembrance of God. So, people would tend to have sort of like a taboo towards that thing. So, music came under that category, unfortunately. And so, people obviously, you know, you want to forbid something, you just make a hadith. You can't, you
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they can't alter the Quran. You can't alter the Quran because the Quran was known in masses. So if you're going to alter it here, someone will know it the other place and will know that you're lying. So that's not going to fly. But the hadith at the time, the hadith were more in sort of like it was like a club, and it was only accessible to a certain group of people. It wasn't sort of like a common thing for everybody. People also need to understand that the hadiths weren't like they are today. Today, you just access them on the internet through books. But back then, they weren't like that. It was like an exclusivity club where it was only a few people who, for example, had access to this kind of thing. And then later on, it started to proliferate, through issue, and different issues started coming up through the Muslim empire, or I would say maybe Arab empires. But different issues, kept coming up, and people were finding hadith. All of a sudden, there's this issue that we have in society. So someone says, "Oh, we have a hadith that says that." Another issue comes up. "Oh, we have a hadith that you couldn't find any like any issue that was brought up that someone didn't have a hadith for." And that can be also seen from when you look at Sahih al-Bukhari. If you look at the chapter headings of Bukhari, he tells you, for example, why. He tells you exactly in the chapter heading why he has brought that hadith. He brings that hadith because there's an issue going on within society that people are wondering about. So that's why he brings that hadith. You can see that. For example, when it says, okay, the impermissibility of using musical instruments. Why does he bring that hadith? Well, because people were asking about it. Why were people asking about it? If it was so clear for everybody, if it was so clear for everybody, why are people talking about it? If it was so clear that it was haram, why are people talking about it? But that's the thing,
Exactly.
is that when people develop this sort of stigma within religion, as it becomes more dogmatic, it's same thing with the Jewish history, it's the same thing with Christianity, it's the same thing with Islam, that as religions end up becoming more dogmatic, that they start to pick out certain things within society that they label as impermissible, unclean, impure, certain things, and they start to forbid those things that God has forbidden. But Allah says, قُلْ مَنْ حَرَّمَ زِينَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي أَخْرَجَ لِعِبَادِهِ وَالطَّيِّبَاتِ مِنَ الرِّزْقِ. That tell them, O Muhammad, who makes haram the things that God has brought forth, the beauties that God has brought forth, zina, the beauties that God has brought forth for his servants, again, li'ibadihi, wat and the good things. So who is the one who is forbidding these things that Allah is asking? Because Allah hasn't. These are beauties of the world that God has given us. Music is a beautiful thing. Music is a thing that is supposed to beautify,
Exactly.
you know,
And then, yes, well, let me tell you one thing, Brother Rashid. These children that are born early, yeah, I think 6 7 months they are born early. So what they need is to sleep. That keep them alive if they sleep more. So what they do, they play Bach music for them. I heard that one, Bach music or something, and that saved their lives. So when something is like this is good and you use it for something good, then like alcohol, alcohol is bad if you drink it because it harms you. But when you use it as cleaning,
Mm.
disinfection, all these things, sanitizing and so on. So that's not haram, that's halal. So when it is harming you, it's haram. When it is helping you, it's halal. Okay. So music, it's also the same. For example, many revolutionary music that people make people to, become stronger, and then, help them in the battles and so on. Like, I think in the past they were playing this drum and such a things. Yes. So such a things is
Yeah.
necessary sometimes, and then
Yeah,
many
I think you
places.
can, Muji. I think you can use anything for good or for evil. You can use nuclear power to like give us light and warmth and
Yeah,
everything,
yeah,
or you can nuke
exactly.
people with the nuclear
Yes,
power.
exactly. That's bad. Exactly. Yeah, you can use it. Of course, we know that even for nuke power, yeah, it's a little bit dangerous. Yeah, we better get rid of that. Like what happened in Chernobyl and then in Japan, so on. But anyway, there
You
are
need better
yes,
safety systems. Yeah.
yes, yeah. Of course, like we need this uranium for X-ray and such a things. Yeah, for all these things, medical reasons, we need them. Yeah, of course. But if you
I
use it
posted
for
in the private chat, Muji, because I looked on the internet why Muslims are not allowed to use instruments or listen to instruments, and I
okay,
got that.
mhm,
Um,
based
is that
upon
one of the reasons? Because
authentic
I don't see worship
ahadith. Okay,
with
it's
instrument.
yeah. Can you read it, please?
It says based upon the authentic Islamic hadith, numerous Iranian grand. I don't know how to
Yeah,
say
okay.
the names. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, okay.
names.
Iranian Grand
It's
Ayatollahs Sadiq
yeah.
Hussein Shirazi. Such a devil. Hussein Shirazi. Yeah. Muhammad Reza Gul Paigani. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Muhammad Taki. They are all, all of them, they are a bunch of robbers that they rob people, they kill people. Okay. So don't need to even bring up them. As I said
Okay.
before, every Friday, Martin, every Friday
Mm.
outside the mosque in Iran before the revolution, they were burning TV sets. Okay. And my father was
Mm.
also, that's why my brother became very much,
Mm.
upset, and he became Islamophobe. He hated Islam because my father was very extremist, and he couldn't even have a radio, brother Rashid. My
Mm.
father was used to break if he my mother was buying him a small radio so that he listened to some stories. Those time where they were not, my father wasn't buying TV because it was haram and such a thing. So anyway, after the revolution, everything became halal because they realized they need to communicate with people. So they need TV, they need radio, they need to play this revolutionary music and so on. So everything became halal. So you see that such a backward people that they didn't see these days. Understand? And for them was, oh, this is devil, this is, oh, devil box and such things. Okay, what is inside that could be wrong, yeah, could it be bad, but the instrument is not wrong. Okay, you can,
Yeah,
people
you can
can
put
watch,
good things in there. Yeah.
yes, people can watch news. Okay, oh, what's happening tonight? Okay, but if you play bad things in that, is that's bad. Okay, that's terrible.
So,
Yeah.
Muji, would you play instruments? Would you? Because I don't see Muslims playing instruments and doing worship songs to God, worshiping God.
No,
Because
okay.
most Muslims would say it's haram or something
No,
to play instruments or
not
something.
most Muslim. No, not most Muslims. Okay, I
Aren't you?
know that
Are you
these
sure?
extremists, yes, extremist Muslims, they do that. Okay, but as I said, for example, my organization, they use music. As even I said, this extremist Iranian regime, they said themselves, who were saying that it's haram, they are using it. Okay, today they are using it every day. They're in on TV, on radio. They have these revolutionary songs and so on. Yes,
Okay,
I
so
would say
they don't follow their own laws or what later
no,
on.
they don't follow anything. Yeah, uh, everything they say, it's just first of all on something they believed. Yeah, but later they realize is wrong. But mostly they don't believe in anything themselves. What they believe in is money. Okay, they love money, and they sell God for that reason also.
So you guys
Unfortunately.
listen to music, Rashid and Muji.
Yeah, I don't actually myself, I don't reach to, but for example, when I drive, yes, I listen to music, yeah, and
And
Yeah,
some
Rashid?
music are nice, yes.
yeah, I listen to music. I find it very
Mm.
hypnotic and relaxing. I mean,
Yes, yes, exactly,
happens.
exactly.
Of course, there is music that is not appropriate. I mean, that's obvious.
Mm,
I told him also,
mm.
there are like hard rock, this Metallica. Oh, I say to my son also, never go close to them. Okay, they are
Yeah, I mean,
crazy.
yeah, there's music like that. But even, for example, even if, for example, music contains bad words, let's say, I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
classify that as haram. I would say it's inappropriate, but I would
exactly.
say it is haram, or
Yeah,
nothing
yeah,
about music I would say is haram.
yeah, yeah,
I could say that some music is inappropriate, yeah, for
yeah, yeah,
children, even for adults. But
exactly,
there's music, tons of music out there that's just soothing to the soul, that is relaxing, that helps you
exactly,
concentrate, that is for meditative purposes. That's just it's just a good in the world. And there's no
exactly.
sense in forbidding, something like music. Like, I don't even think this should be a religious issue. I think that this shouldn't even come up, as something to discuss about, or to try and find out whether it is halal or haram. This
But
shouldn't
the
even.
thing is, Rashid, do you perhaps know how many of Muslims, percentage-wise, believe that it's haram, or
There is
isn't
a
there
there
such
is
stats?
there is a certain number actually who do consider it haram, because there have been many scholars who have declared it to be haram. Especially, for example, if I remember, now it's starting, people are starting to wake up more on it, and actually start to they've started to lean towards it being maybe makruh, disliked.
Yes,
So
this like
they're leading more towards that kind of reading. But there was a time when it seemed like there was this stigma around. Like, for example, if you look at in the early 2000s or later, you would notice that there was this understanding that even if you look at Zakir Naik and all, and even Sheikh Yasser Qadri and different shuyukhs were propagating that idea, saying that music is haram, or music instrument is haram, or that kind of thing. But then later on, it started to change. They started to be more understanding. I say, okay, well, we say it is makruh, it is disliked, it's not 100%, but there are still certain people who still hold that view, and people who have been influenced more from a more the extreme aspect of Islam, that those people still uphold this idea that music is haram. And but we do have those people, and they are very vocal, you know even, but
So
those
is
people,
there a percentage perhaps, or isn't there stats on?
it is a
Um,
vocal percentage. I would say that I personally, I mean, there are many of them who say that they would say it is haram, but they would still listen to music themselves. Is that they say
so
it
they're
is?
hypocritical.
Well, I wouldn't say hypocritical. No, I mean, you say lying is false, but then you still lie. That doesn't make you a hypocrite,
It does a
technically.
little bit.
A little, it's just a tiny, tiny, tiny. But I'm just saying that I say that they fall short. They can't live up to it. That within themselves, they have been told that it is haram. Okay, but their natural instinct, their natural instinct, deep down, they know that it is okay. That's why they do it. But because they want to pass on this sort of understanding, they don't want to contradict the tradition. You see, they don't want to contradict the tradition, but deep
Why are
down,
you laughing like that, Muji?
because I'm reading something, yeah, about what these mullahs of Iran, yeah, they were making haram. Let me read for you that in the past, I think before 1911, as it's written, lamp was haram. Lamp, yeah, yeah. It's written that because they were saying because people sit long, late at night, and then they will not reach to have to pray in the morning. Yeah, then the factory, lamp factory, they paid to this Ayatollah, whoever was, they paid him to make it halal. and he made it halal because he got a lot of money from the factory. And then later other clerics, they and some people, they burned the factory. Okay. And then there was I remember that when I was a child in Iran, when we were we used to drink the tea with the sugar beets, sugar bite. Okay, not, we don't put sugar in the tea. So I used to see that people, they just adopted the sugar bite in the tea. Okay, and then they put it in mouth. Brother Rashid, it is very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I'm familiar with
Yes,
it.
I don't know if you know. So it is very interesting, and I didn't know why they do that. So I was also doing sometimes like that, and everything. Later, I found out that some clerics, they said that this sugar bite is haram. Okay, because as I read it now, because it was made by some some bones of dead people and such things. Okay, and then later this factory, the sugar factory, they paid these clerics to make it halal, and they said, okay, now if you adopt it to the tea and then put it to your mouth, it become halal. So that's why people were doing that, and I didn't know as a child why they do it. So I was just doing that. Later I found out that why they were doing it, because first they made it haram. Okay, and then when they got money from these factories, they said, okay, now if you put it in the tea and adopt it in the tea and then put it in your mouth, it is halal. Okay, so you see how that's why I say always, they are a bunch of businessmen, but their business is God, and they make money, and when they got the power, they start to rob people, and destroy the people. They are such a bad people, unfortunately.
It's
Of
a
course
little
not.
bit like EI Dawa, Muji. They also a person came on there and he loved music and he was trying to ask them, can't he just make? He loves making music and stuff,
Mhm.
and they told him like, no, he has to give it up for Allah. It's haram, even
Mhm.
though they play music beforehand. They play music and they just do stuff with their mouth
Yeah,
to
yeah,
do all the instruments and everything.
yeah.
So they still do it, but they break this guy's. Um,
Mhm.
he hoped that he could still listen to your music.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing is that it's written washing machine was haram. Washing machine, yeah,
Why?
because there is something in Islam is called najas. Brother Rashid knows. Najas can be called as translated as dirty also. That says that because if you put najas clothes with clean clothes, they made also those clothes najas. Yeah, Brother Rashid. So that's why it was haram.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy. But
yeah.
Muji, what would you say about EI Dawa? Do you like the
Dawa.
EI Dawa? It's
Yes, yes,
isn't it EI Dawa? EF Dawa.
No,
flower.
there are EF Dawa and there is EA Dawa as well. EA Dawa is the that
Perhaps I'm getting confused.
converted Muslim, the
Oh,
American
is
guy.
that EI Dawa? What's the other
Yes,
one? The,
the
the
other
other
one
one?
is EF
Oh, that
Dawa.
kicked you. Oh, EF. Okay, I meant
Yeah, EF.
EF.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
do you
Of
go
course,
on both? Did you go on both of
they
those
don't allow.
YouTube channels?
No, they have
Both
blocked.
kicked you.
EF Dawa blocked me. EA Dawa,
But
no.
EA Dawa?
EA Dawa hasn't blocked, but if I go, I mean, I know that they will. Wow, they want to kill me, so that's why I prefer not to go. Yes, because
So, so what would they have to do before you would need to go, Muji? Like on there, would they also need to support Daniel uh,
I mean,
Chickadee or
I don't
whatever
know
his
if
name was?
they do it, but they have also some, like he said that because they are converted and they think, unfortunately, some of these converted, they think that, oh, the guy has so much beard, oh, they must know, have better knowledge, that's why they just follow them without understanding themselves. There are some unfortunately converted people who think like this, despite they don't understand that
So you're
no.
first gonna leave him, Muji, to learn more, and then you're gonna
Because no, no,
go
the
and
thing is that mostly they are, for example, EA Dawa, mostly they are just talking about Christianity. There is nothing
oh,
special to
okay.
talk about that. They always talk about that God
But you can
exists.
change it to Islam, Muji. You can go on there and
Uh,
start
they,
talking about
they,
Islam.
yeah, they are not interested. So, yeah, I was
They
going
don't want to
actually.
talk about Islam, Muji. They
No,
don't want to talk about Islam.
yes, I was going to ask. Actually, if friendly Muslim was here, I was going to because I found some article about Bani Quraiza. Yeah, that I wanted to share that. That there are not only me. There are other people who say this is fabricated. Okay, in that article. So because he was saying that whatever I don't like, I say is fabricated. So and uh, let me see, I have now in the phone also, is difficult to find, but anyway, the number I found out is from 400 to 900. Okay, from 400 to 900. And I think this story come, as I read from somebody, Ibn Ishaq, brother Rashid, if you know him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Ibn Ishaq. Yeah, and somebody was explaining that even whatever is from Ibn Ishaq, what has been Martin, has been written 100 to 150 years after him. Okay, so we don't have anything between these times. So two of his students, they wrote, and then he was saying that uh, in this gap, so those who wanted to add things in this his saying and so on, they could have add anything they wanted. Okay, so the source is I found many things that the source that he has also used were not reliable. Okay, so if I may maybe share the article. Let me see. The article is here. I found it.
But
Okay,
Muji, how much of the authentic hadiths that Muslims would say is authentic would you reject?
I
Or do
said that
you don't
yes,
know
I
100%?
cannot say how many. No, I don't, I just said that whatever goes against Quran, okay,
Okay.
that's the first criteria. That whatever goes against Quran, then you have to reject it. So anyway, this was a good article about this. It's very long. I don't want to read it. Yeah,
Mm.
but anyway, it was explaining that why this, this hadith or these stories are absolutely unreliable. Okay, and yeah, okay. Source the Bangor. The first thing that needs to be acknowledged is that the common narrative have reached us via Sira Rasulullah by Ibn Ishaq. Okay, Muhammad ibn Ishaq blah, 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 was living 704 to 767 CE. The first biography of Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, but he was not a contemporary of the Prophet. He was born nearly 80 years after the death of the Prophet. Okay, and second, according to Arafat, he based his narration about the killing of the Jews of Bani Qurayza based on the testimonies of the descendants of that tribe. Okay, all right. So anyway, this is the article is quite long, and it was explaining very well. And then, as I said, that the story has met from 400 to 900. It's already make it unreliable. That's why such a difference in number. And then how they were killed also, there are two different explanation how they were killed. And anyway, so this there are different scholars who also say that this is absolutely fabricated, and then it absolutely goes against command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that says that keep the what is it, the prisoners of war until the war is laid down, or ransom them. Okay, there is nowhere in Quran that say you have the right to kill the prisoners of the war. Yeah, and then another thing that I was going to say, if friendly Muslim was here, it was about children of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Okay, how many children he had. Okay, and it is also written that he had all his children, okay, from his first wife. He had 7 children, all his children. Let me share that one also so that I have share, okay, share screen, so that it is with fact, okay, not just I just say something. Okay, this is the article as well, that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had 7 children, and then it says that, okay, and all these children, they were from first wife Khadija radiallahu, okay, and says that he had, I think, as I read, that he had one, I think, child with that concubine, Maria, okay, which is not so sure either. Many people, many scholars also that say that it is not correct that he had child with that concubine. But even if he had, okay, as a prophet of God, he must have had, even if he must have had a reason, okay. For example, it could be that an slave became mother of all believers, okay. So even if he had, I'm not so sure, okay, but first of all, we have to know that if he was a prophet of God or not. If he was a prophet of God, then he had a reason for these marriages, okay, not because of his self-desire and so on. So anyway, that this
But
is
Mujia, what would you say about that hadith that Aisha said that I feel like your Lord hastens to fulfill your desires?
okay. So
Would you say that's fabricated, or what would
yes,
you say?
yes, okay. I say that definitely, as I have read for you, that he didn't have. If he had, uh, as they say, that he had every night, he was with one of them. So it means that he was sleeping and he had strength up, I don't know, 300 men or whatever.
30 men.
Then 30 men, okay. Then he must have had children, I can find for you. There was a guy from Nepal, I think. He had just some wives and I don't know, 200 children and so on. So if Prophet Muhammad should also have many, many children, but we see that he had only children with his first wife, okay? And it is, not 100% sure that he had even child with that Maria, they say, okay? But even if he had, I say, only with that, then it was for a reason, okay? Which I'm not so sure, because it's also, how do you say? It's not sure anyway.
But didn't he also not allow his wives to remarry after his death? Like
Yeah,
no one may marry
yes,
them.
yes. That
So
one
they
is,
were poor
yeah,
widows
yes,
after
yes.
that.
That one, yes, that one. I understand. Okay, that one. That why they shouldn't do that. This is my understanding. Maybe Brother Rashid say something else, but anyway, this is my understanding that perhaps some people, it was not so good that wives of prophet somebody marry and then they maybe abuse, something, because they were mother of the believers. So their position was much different than an ordinary person, an ordinary wife. Understand? So it should they should sacrifice this for the
But
sake
shouldn't
of
the hadith then the hadith that Aisha wrote? Isn't there hadith that Aisha
wrote
isn't it
what.
then supposed to be a high authority? Isn't there hadith that hadith Aisha narrated or wrote down or allowed people to write down?
I don't understand. You mean that
The
her hadith?
Aisha had like hadith the way she
Yes,
was
but
telling what
yes.
happened to her and everything, but
No. The thing is
is it
that,
authentic, those hadiths,
no,
or
I say that the thing is that what is it? They could have written many things and say the Aisha said. Okay, we don't know. Understand?
so how are we
So
supposed to know?
so as I said, that for me is that if it doesn't contradict Quran, okay, and it goes back to really goes back to Aisha, then we can. But for example, it could come from, there are not only hadiths from Aisha, there were Hippocrates around Prophet Muhammad, okay, So they could also, and there is in chapter 4, verse 80 to 83, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that these Hippocrates, yeah, by night they say things, when they come out from your lecture, they say things that you haven't said, okay? So these people, they were saying things from Prophet, but they were companion, yeah, they were companion of Prophet Muhammad. During his lifetime also, they were saying things from Prophet Muhammad that he hadn't said, okay? So these things could be also there. So you trace it back, it goes to a companion of Prophet Muhammad, but is a fabricated. Because Allah doesn't say in Quran who is a Hippocrates, okay? It leaves it open because somebody could be a companion, a believer today, and then a disbeliever or a munafiq, which we say the Hippocrates, tomorrow or next year or in 10
So
years. Yeah?
Aisha could be like that.
I mean, I cannot judge people. Okay,
Hmm.
Aisha fought against the fourth Khalifa. Okay, and that was, for me, that was absolutely wrong. That she together with some other companions, they fought against the fourth Khalifa, closest person, companion of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. They fought, and she was captured in that also battle. Okay, so Aisha had done also wrong things. Understand? So I cannot judge her, but could be some some misinformation, mis transmission, and such things. They could have been. I cannot judge, but what I do is that I go according Quran myself. Okay, I don't
Hmm.
go according that Aisha have said it, then it is words of Allah. No, okay. If even if she has said it, it has to go in line with Quran. Like for example, she said that two verses of Quran was, if she said, yeah, I don't know, that two verses of Quran was written on a paper, was under my pillow, and then was eaten by a goat. Yeah, if she has said it, then that's absolutely fabricated. Okay, which I don't believe that she has said it, because she should understand very well that Quran was memorized by many people. So even if they were eaten, some people have had memorized them. So it should be
But
added in Quran.
wasn't there a lot of Muslims that were dying in war, and so that's why they started writing it down
Yeah,
because there
yeah,
were so many
this,
Muslims
yeah,
dying.
yeah, yes. This one I have heard also that they started to write them in a book, because many of these people who had memorized them, they had been killed in different battles, so they started to think that we better write them down before all those who have memorized, they die. But still, there were many, because Quran was written during the second caliph. Okay, but for example, Ali radiallahu, who was closest person to Prophet Muhammad, he was alive, so he would read the Quran and say, oh, these two verses are missing, yeah, so we have to add these two verses. you know and he was
What about
khalifa.
the burning of the Qurans, Muji? What would you
I
say
don't
about
know about
the?
that.
Do you
I
think
don't
they
know about
burned
that.
the Qurans to
I don't
because
know
there were
about that.
differences, or?
No, I don't know about that. But what I understand and what I know is that this Quran is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised us. Okay, and they tried very hard to add verses inside it, but they couldn't. So that's why they came with fabricated hadiths that said, "Oh, this verse came down, but unfortunately, it is not in the Quran." So understand? So they tried hard. So it must have been protected. Otherwise, they would have inserted these verses there also. Yeah.
And
Well,
what
but
would you
you
say
know,
about the different Qurans? In the Hadith, they say there was different Qurans, and so they burned some of the Qurans, according
Brother
to
Rashid, you
history or
know that.
something.
Let's see, Brother Rashid, what he knows.
About the burning.
Yes,
Hmm.
he says, he asked about says the hadith says that, because I don't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the hadith, according to the traditional understanding of the collection of the Quran, that Uthman ibn Affan, during his caliphate, he ordered, for the different versions of the Quran to be burned that were not in alignment with the Mus'haf that he had made, and the copies of which he sent out to the different Islamic dynasties, or Islamic empires or Islamic regions at the time. So he sent it to the different Islamic provinces, and then the other ones he collected them and then they were burned. Those ones, according to the narrative.
So this is authentic or what? Or what would you say?
Well, yeah, according to different, according to the scholars, they would tell you that yes, that is authentic. That Uthman did burn several Qurans because there were too many mistakes going on in those versions. Or people were writing their own versions of the Quran, and they were unfortunately making mistakes in them. As you know, it happens when you do right. It's a normal thing. So because of that, he realized that, and a lot of Hufadh of, from the Bat of Yamama, there were, or there, many of them had died, and those who used to memorize the Quran were dying out, and then they decided to, okay, well, we need to put it into writing and spread it out the masses, because we've noticed that there are mistakes appearing in the recitation from the different places and the different provinces of the Islamic Empire. So someone from Iraq would listen to a Quran that is a slightly different, and by the way, this difference is not in terms of what is known as ahruf. No, these were blatant mistakes that people were making or within the script. So according to this narrative, Uthman decided to get this delegation, get this group of people who used to also write the Quran during the time of the Prophet, and he had the same people to write down a, a version that was, or a Quran that was based on the dialect of the Quraysh, the tribe from which the Prophet was. So they wrote that one out, and then they copied it and they sent it to the different provinces of the Islamic Empire. And they had the rest, or the other ones, that were burned because they didn't want to transmit those mistakes. But that's a bit problematic, because obviously he didn't burn everything,
Mm.
because uh, uh, copies did end up, being carried on through history. I mean, even when you look at the different Muslim history, the books, they would tell you about certain things that were in the Quran, or not were in the Quran, but taken, but different reading of certain verses that would take, for example, when you read Surah Al-Fatiha, for example, you say Ihdina Surat al-Mustaqim, right?
Yes.
You would read that as that, but as the word uh, ihdina. But there were a time where there were certain groups of Muslims who didn't use that. They would use unshuruna. They would use basically, which means show us. I mean, ihdina also carries that meaning, but they would substitute that with the literal word show us, as in shuruna. Uh,
Mhm.
so Ishuna Surat al Mustaqim, so they would change it to that. So some people were reading it as that, and other people were reading it as differently. So even these different copies did survive. Like, for example, you talk about the Sana'a manuscript. For example, it has certain things, certain words which are not found within the Quran that we have today. It also has the verses have been changed. Some of the verses, like, they don't follow the same reading as they have today. They're sort of like twisted, and the chapters are rearranged in different places. So you have that, and words have been changed out, and words are different in that one. So you have, the Sana'a manuscript. It's a palimpsest. You have because it has been written under, and then that under layer has been scrubbed off, and a new version has been written on. And
Oh
when the
yeah.
scholars, yeah, so when the scholars compare the two versions, they can see that the one on top is more in line with the one that we have today, but the one underneath is a bit, it's different, so that leads people to so take up this to say that, okay, well, it is possible that this was a personal copy of an individual, who had his own personal copy. And since parchment was very expensive at the time, so you don't just go and burn, parchment, because it was very expensive. Why didn't you? So they just decided to wipe it, and then write on this new version, or this new that everybody is reading, once they realized that there were mistakes in it. So,
Okay,
something
so
like
there's different Qurans or what?
that. Even today, I mean, there are, well, there are different, they would say there are different readings of the Quran. So you do have the Qurans differ from one another today. I mean, this is a common thing. It has
So which
already,
is the true one? Which is the true Quran, or is the
well, I mean, that it depends on who you ask. I mean, according to the traditional narrative, all the ones that we have today have been authentically preserved and they're all correct.
what if they contradict each other?
Well, it depends on what you mean by contradiction. You mean like one
Like
says,
the differences might contradict each other.
well, I mean, like for example, if one says a man and another one says a woman, do you mean in that sort of contradiction?
Something like that.
In
Because
that
I've
case,
seen some ex-Muslims say
yeah,
there are contradictions between the.
I wouldn't say there
Uh,
are contradiction. I would say that there might be certain differences of wordings, not contradiction, because a contradiction is something that says the opposite of the other. But so that's not a contradiction. It's just two different words, but they're not contradicting one another.
but we
Okay, I hope.
can next time. I'll try and find some of these
Yeah,
people
yeah,
that, and
they
then
do
you can
have,
go through it.
they do have differences.
Mm.
In terms of contradiction, I would say that
So you haven't
maybe,
seen a contradiction yet.
in terms of contradiction, if that's what you mean, there is, for example, a verse which speaks about the feeding of the poor within Surah Al-Baqarah, and that verse says that that when you miss that when you miss a fast or during the time of the fast, that you can feed a poor person. Okay, it's a ta'amu miskin, which is you feed one poor person if you miss your fast. But then another version reads ta'am masakin, you feed poor people. Now, you could see it as, you could say, well, that's clearly a contradiction. I mean, is it
No,
one person or
yeah.
is it multiple people?
If you
So,
can, yes, I don't think that I can say myself that if you feed more people, why not? That's better. Yeah. If you
yeah,
cannot, then feed just one.
if you mean
So which
that,
one is corrupted, Muji? Or is both?
if you mean in terms of that is what you mean by contradiction, those kinds of mistakes, if that's what you mean, um, then there are some that then you would mean, then there are some, quite a number. Well, the differences between the Qur'ans, they're about, if you look at all I think I've been able to gather around maybe 1,300 in terms of differences of words. If you're to look at differences in letters, differences in reading, those ones go to tens of thousands. There are many.
Yeah.
But if you look at differences of wordings, so a word is not the same in one place and it's not the same in another version. So differences of wording, words, I would say maybe they reach about 1,000 or 1,300. That's how many differences in terms of differences of words. Or sometimes a word can be missing. For example, in one place it says qul, which means say. It's an order, a command. It's in the imperative. God is commanding the prophet. In another place it says qala, he said. So as in the prophet said. So is it the command? Did God command the prophet to say, or did the prophet say something that God just repeated? So which is it? So if you're
So
talking
it's
about,
difficult stuff.
yeah, so the thing is that for me personally, I think that I don't agree with this idea that they're all true versions, go back to the prophet, that they were revealed like that, they're all correct. No, I think if you're to look at I think that we're just deceiving ourselves by actually taking that approach. Because if you look at the words themselves, if you look at the words, you would notice that they're actually written very similar. They're written almost exactly alike. I won't say almost, they're written exactly alike if you remove the diacritical markings. You see, because in Arabic, much like Hebrew, they contain diacritical markings, and those markings can tell you whether a letter is pronounced this way or that way. And so that is the issue, is that you have Qurans which used to be written without this diacritical marking. So you have a word like miskin and masakin, both written exactly the same way. It all depends on how you put your diacritical markings. So someone who came out later on might have seen that word and read it as, and just said, oh, I'm not sure, should we read this as miskin or should we read it as masakin? So some said it was miskin, some says it was masakin. They weren't sure, so they took both of them. And that keeps that seems to happen a lot. Another thing is that some of them would start with a wow, so, and some of them would start with a fa, and that is because those words are written exactly the same. Some of them wouldn't have the wow, which means and, or which means fa, which can mean so, so some of them wouldn't have that word, some of them would have that word. And then you have other words. One of the words that I found very peculiar is the verse in I think it is Surah Al-Zukhruf, that is verse number 43, in which Allah says, وَجَعَلُوا الْمَلَائِكَةَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عِبَادُ الرَّحْمَنِ إِنَاثًا. The word used there, they make the angels of they have turned the angels who are themselves Ibadur Rahman, servants of Ar-Rahman, into females. So that's the accusation that God was levying at the people. He's saying that these people have turned the angels who are supposed to be servants of Ar-Rahman into females. So then there's another one which reads, they have turned the angels who are themselves in the presence of Ar-Rahman into females. So in one version it says servants, in another place it says in the presence of. You see, because the Arabic, it one says ibad and another says inda, with or in the presence of. Those words, when you write them out without the diacritical markings, they would be written almost identical. So there comes the issue. Should we read it as Ibadur Rahman or should we read it as Inda Rahman? So a decision had to be made. Some read it as Inda, in the presence of, and some read it as Ibad, servants. So these are two words that have absolutely nothing to do with each other. Absolutely nothing, but it's all due to script. And this is a popular thing. I think that the different readings or versions or whatever was because as society began to move away from memory into written documents, so they began trusting the written thing more than the memorized. So because of that, that led to these different readings. And since at that time Arabic was not standardized, it was not stable, the written form of Arabic was not stable at that time, so it caused these different readings. And scholars had to struggle, to come up with explanations, for these different readings. Some of them decided to say, okay, well, they all go back to the prophet, all of them. For
But the
some,
one scholar said that these things should never be brought up in public, and
I
that
mean,
this,
that's
huh?
the thing, that yeah,
Yeah,
but
this,
unfortunately that ship is sailed. Okay, because we
and
have,
that the standard narrative has holes
yeah,
in it, according to him.
that ship is sailed. Unfortunately, we have the
Okay,
internet. People can easily access these things. You can go and purchase the Quran from here and purchase one over the internet and just look at them. What's the lay Muslim supposed to do? He's been fed this lie over the years that, oh, not a single dot, not a
perhaps
single
Muji still believes that
line
lie. Perhaps
has been
Muji, do
changed.
you believe that lie, Muji?
you know it's some people have been fed that kind of narrative, that not a single dot, not a single iota, the Quran has been preserved word for word, verbatim, perfect. Not
Mm.
That's a lie. And
But you
scholars have
shouldn't bring this up in public, Rashid.
known that's a lie. Unfortunately, scholars have known that. Okay, the thing is, the failing is on the scholars' part. They shouldn't have allowed these preachers to go and populate this kind of idea. The scholars should have spoken out and say, hey, hang on a minute. You guys who are preaching, doing dawah around, you're not allowed to say this, that the Quran is preserved word for word. There's no letter has changed. Come on. Arabic, like any language, changes. Okay, the Arabic that is written today is not the same Arabic that was written at the time of the Prophet. It's also not the same Arabic that was written 50 years or 100 years after the Prophet. Language changes.
Yeah,
Letters
but
are added. Okay.
Rashid, Nemesis says, doesn't this go against Allah's promise that no one can change his words? He
No, it
said
does not.
that in the comment.
No, it
But
does.
the words are not changed, okay? I mean, everything is the same that we understand it, all right?
No, it doesn't change the speech of God. Okay,
No.
and I've tried to explain this before, but maybe I wasn't as clear. So let me try to explain what that means. Okay, it's like, for example, at the moment of when God is speaking, okay, the change to his word, he is only speaking as far as that when he is speaking. No change can happen to what I am saying. Okay, that what I am telling you, that someone is not going to come and change my opinion or add some information to what I'm saying you right now. It's not talking, it's like, for example, if I am speaking to you right now, Martin, and I say that, okay, I have said this statement, okay, nothing can change it. Now, I am not, what I'm meaning here, I'm not saying that someone cannot take my word and twist it in a different way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that at the time that from me, okay, from me, that my speech that I just told you, that I am not going to change my mind, or someone is not going to come and change my mind on what I have just said. That doesn't mean that I account for what they are going to do. So when the speech, or when the speech of God leaves God and the prophet passes away, that's all on the public. They can alter it, they can do anything to it. The same statement could have been said at the time when Moses came down with the Torah. Okay, or not Torah, sorry, when Moses came down with the commandments. The same speech could have been found on God's mouth. God could have said the exact same thing, that nothing could change my words. He could have said the exact same thing, which it does. But by the way, it is there in the Old Testament, in the different laws that God gives Moses, that not one thing should change. But yet we have Jesus coming along and altering certain laws. What then does that mean? Well, that speaks as far as when God is speaking. It's not speaking as what people will do after that. It's not telling you that people are not going to come and change my words. No. It's just talking about from the speech of God himself, that nobody, you can't make him change his mind when he has made it up. That's what I'm
What,
saying.
maybe I
But
can also
what does
let me
Muji say?
wait,
Does he
Martin.
believe the standard narrative? Or okay, go Muji. Sorry.
Martin, let me say
Mm.
that his words is not going to be changed and so on. Is like, for example, I have said that when he said that for adultery is 100 lashes, nobody else can come and say no. Add a verse in that and say no, stone them to death. Okay, this cannot be changed. But for example, the verse is about slavery. Okay, that for example, if you miss this, we were saying, Rashid was saying, okay, that if you miss your fasting, then there was another thing is also freeing a slave. Also, yes, brother Rashid, there is a free a slave as well. For example, today we don't have slaves, so that has to be changed. Okay, it doesn't mean that this has to be forever, that we have to take slaves, so that if I miss a day fasting, then I have to go and buy a slave and free. So this was for those time, or even feeding poor. Okay, that we were talking about now, feeding poor. I believe in a world that Islam is going to create a world that there is no poor on the planet. Okay, everybody are equal, everybody have everything. Okay, so what will happen then? There is no, if you miss a fasting, okay, then there is no poor to feed them. Okay, so it has been changed. It means it has been changed. Yeah, it has been changed, but that's is not for the worse. It's for a good. Okay, that it has been changed. Things has been changed from 1400 years ago until today. Okay, today we are living in 21st century, and certain things has has to be changed. Okay, and that's why I always say that we have the system of ijtihad in Islam. Those clerics, yeah, they are not here to read Quran for us. Everybody, Rashid can also read Quran. They supposed to, to make the verses of Quran, the rules of Quran, suitable for our time. Another thing is that not even our time, for our geographic situation. For example, in Quran says that how to fast is from sunrise to sunset. Okay, from sunrise to sunset. But that sunrise and sunset is for Arabia and places like that. It's not for North Sweden. North Sweden is 24 hours light during summer. So what to do there? There is changed. Okay, we have to change it there. So does it mean that we have changed God's words? No, or God's rules. He has given us this, this power that when it is not suitable, then the clerics, those who are scholars, they must tell us that what to do now here. Okay, in North Sweden when it is 24 hours light, or even in winter time is 24 hours dark, no sunset, no sunrise, how to fast. So they have to teach us what to do. So things will change, yes, but it doesn't mean that we are going to change it to the worse. We are going to change it to the better. Understand? Things,
Was
words.
there changes in the Quran, words, or never? Was there just one Quran, or was there a multiple Qurans, Muji, or
No,
what would you say?
I say that that there were small, differences, and even that Brother Rashid was saying that during Osman they saw that they were companion of Prophet Muhammad, that they would see that okay, this version of Quran is correct. Okay, so that's why the Quran we have today is the Quran that, okay, there are small different, for me, I can say that they are not so big changes. Okay, big deals. Understand that the entire the what is it, Quranic meaning and rulings will change totally. Understand?
What
So
about the Muslims that say Allah used a goat to abrogate some verses out of the Quran?
no, that's use the goat. No,
Yeah, he wanted to abrogate some stuff out of the
no, no,
Quran,
no,
and then
no,
he used the goat,
no.
according to some Muslims.
Okay, and those Muslims, yeah, they must be, because
Because they would say only the stuff currently in the Quran
yeah,
is
they,
to be followed, and
yeah,
that stuff is abrogated
okay,
by Allah.
which stuff?
The stuff about stoning and those things.
Okay, about the stoning, what we
And
have
the
to,
suckling and the stuff. There's
they
like
have been
suckling
abrogated.
verses
Yes, they say they have.
by
It
the
has been
goat and stuff.
okay. They say that it has been abrogated. Yeah, by the goat.
Yeah.
So why they still
Yeah.
do it? So why they still do it today?
Yeah, the
If it was
breastfeeding, see, Alika says the goat abrogated adult breastfeeding and stoning.
no, no. I say okay. I say why still they stone people then if it was abrogated by a goat? Yeah, and then
I
is
think they try and say, no, it's
no,
not
no, no,
abrogated.
no.
The
It's
goat
not.
didn't abrogate
Exactly. No,
it.
even that hadith doesn't say that the goat fabric abrogated. They say it is not there because we have to do it. Yeah, it is not there because it was eaten by a goat. It's not that they say it was abrogated by a
But
goat.
some of them say Allah took it out the Quran through the
Mhm.
goat.
Through the goat. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
This is, I said that instead they try. Okay, these people, they try to somehow say the hadith is authentic. Okay, but they try to explain it in different way. Okay, like that cleric or scholar that was talking to me, he was trying to somehow say that the hadith of Bukhari and Muslim that says that the verse came down, Umar radiallahu said, but I'm afraid that they forget and such things. He was saying that they trying to say that hadith is authentic, but what is it? What make it? What is it? He was explaining that why this what is it? Omar radiallahu was saying like this because he was old and he didn't remember and so on. Okay, so it Martin went again. I think he got some problem. He will be back anyway. So anyway, it was yes. They try to. I have seen many times. They try to.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, they try to somehow they find different reasons. Yeah, different ways to keep the authenticity of the hadiths, the fabricated hadiths for me. Yeah, they try to keep that one by different explanation. Understand? So I don't come
Okay.
with
So, but
with
do some of the Muslims follow those hadiths that were eaten by the goat, the breastfeeding and stoning hadiths,
I don't know about the
or the Quran
breastfeeding.
verses?
No, the breastfeeding I don't know, but
Because I see
the
some people
stoning.
say there's breastfeeding.
Yeah, and there is one of the things that they say that was on that paper, which was eaten by the goat, was one of them was the stoning, and the
Yes,
other one was an abrogated verse, which apparently there was a verse in the Quran which takes, which says that because which says that a woman can breastfeed, a man who is who is a non-mahram, that they can breastfeed 10 times, and then they will become mahram, and then that was abrogated to 5 times,
yeah,
and apparently that later verse that later verse, it was abrogated, you know sorry, that earlier verse, the one with 10 times, was abrogated with 5 times now, and that's the one that was eaten by a goat. And so it's the whole story is the whole story is kind of it's weird. It doesn't make any sense, like that, as if the prophet would say such a thing. It seems preposterous. But yeah, there have been certain clerics who have actually taken that understanding, and there have been cases where women have done that, like and they are,
Following the Quran verses
oh
in
no,
the hadith.
yeah, they're following this tradition, and so they have
That,
done that,
uh,
to breastfeed certain men
and
who
did it
can.
work?
What?
Because I don't think it's gonna work. It's supposed to. They did it because they thought it's gonna make you his son or his
Yeah,
daughter. They're
yeah,
gonna
but that's
become family or what?
yeah, but that's the thing, is that sorry, I did not explain the word mahram and non-mahram. A mahram person. So a non-mahram and a mahram person. A mahram person is a person that who can be in your presence. A man and a woman are generally, from tradition, not allowed, for example, to be in the same presence if they're not related. So what they that they invented this verse. They say, okay, well, you want to be with this woman, but you can't be in the same room with her. Okay, what do you do? Okay, well,
sucking her breast.
just breastfeed her, like, breastfeed the man,
Like a
and then
child.
he becomes like, yeah, and then the person becomes your breastfeeding son. You are the breastfeeding mother, so they can be in your presence. It's simple. So so that's
Yeah.
the thing, is that yeah, they try to find like a loophole, to
Mm.
that. So this thing has continued actually even today in the 21st century, which is weird. There have been women who have been doing that, and what they do is that, okay, they don't breastfeed the person, but rather what they do is that they take milk. They
Oh.
pump their breasts, like like you do for a
Mm.
baby. They just pump the breast, and then they just give it, to the man. Or for example, when a woman who can have breast milk
Would you-
not yet, she can't make milk because she's not pregnant. So what she does is that she goes and finds maybe one of her sister, one of her who's a close relative to her, and says, "Hey, you are pregnant. I see. Can you give me a couple of drops of milk? Give me 10 or 5." And then they just give it to the man, and the man would drink them, and then they can be in the same room. No, easy peasy. So that's been going on, and some people have been calling into these shuyukhs and telling them about it, and it seems so embarrassing because they have to say that on live television, and it looks so awkward, like when they have to defend this this idea of breastfeeding adults. And even within the hadiths
But isn't
themselves,
it dangerous, the milk, or is it healthy, or what?
no, it's not dangerous. It's
Okay.
not dangerous. Not dangerous for adults. There's
Okay.
this hadith within I think it was in Sahih Muslim or was it in Sahih Bukhari, one of those two, um, where you have the Prophet during the time of the Prophet, you have this man who sorry, what was it? I've forgotten the name of this companion, but it was a companion, Hudhaifa, I think it was, and he had his wife, right? His wife. There was this man who was coming to into the home, but when that man was coming to into the home, Hudhaifa and his wife were there, obviously, and she was like taken aback at how the man was looking at her. And Hudhaifa, he's looking at this and he's not comfortable, with the way he's looking at the wife or the way the wife is looking. So he doesn't like that kind of dichotomy. And so the wife, she notices that, yeah, it looks weird. She notices that the husband is a bit weirded out by how they look, by how that he knows it. The husband notices how this other guy is looking at the wife. So what she does is she goes to the Prophet and she tells him that I can see on my husband's face that he's a bit disturbed by the fact that this man enters our house. So the Prophet says, "Ardi'uhu." This "Ardi'uhu," breastfeed him. so, so she says, وَكَيْفَ أَرْضِعُهُ وَهُوَ كَبِيرٌ. How can I breastfeed him when he's an old man? As he's a grown up. you know. Oh, so the prophet repeats the same thing, and then she goes and breastfeeds him, and then she says, "Wallahi, I have never seen my husband more happier." You know, the whole story, the hadith is there in, yeah, I think it's Sahih Muslim or Sahih al Bukhari, and it's just hilarious when you read it. It just
So many Muslims take this as authentic hadith,
Ah,
right?
yeah,
yeah, even today, that's why, for example, many within certain sects, within the Salafi, you really extreme Hadithi mindset sects, like they really like they can't criticize that Hadith. Like some of them, like they take it and they say, yeah, it's there. They can't deny it. And so when the practice happens, they can't like say, oh, what you're doing is haram. They're put into this situation. They can't they can't turn away, and that's the problem. Is that even something as as weird as that, I mean,
What
it's just
about the
and then
camel pee? Where does the camel pee, drinking camel pee, all the
look,
Muslims that drink
yes,
camel pee?
no,
Where
no.
does that
What
come
was
from?
no, Martin,
What?
take it easy. All Muslim drinking camel
No,
tea.
I didn't say
No,
all. I said some of the Muslims like to
oh, okay, some,
suckle
yes,
like
I know.
this. Yeah,
Yeah, some.
some of them, and some drink camel pee. because,
I heard that you said sorry, I thought that you said all Muslim
no,
drink.
no,
But anyway, look,
I
this
didn't
is
mean.
again, this is
Where does
Martin.
that come from,
No,
Muchi?
let me tell
The
you. Yeah,
camel pee.
okay, let me tell you, Martin.
Mm,
This is again this pagans, as I said, have said many times, they wanted to keep their tradition, so they have added in that like stoning adulterers was their tradition. They added in Bible, Torah, and they wanted to add it in Quran, but they thanks God they couldn't do that. But anyway,
because the sheep or goat ate
yes,
it,
yeah.
so they
Anyway,
couldn't do it.
whatever they couldn't. So I don't. We talked about that. Okay. Anyway, so this was also their tradition. These pagans traditions. You see, in India they drink cow pee. Okay, and cow urine. So they definitely in Arabia they were drinking camel urine. Okay, because cow is not common there. So that's why they wanted to keep it. That's why they fabricated the hadith to continue this tradition. Oh yeah, Prophet said like this, and and then it's not,
But
and it is not that hadith we have talked about it. It's not only about the camel, drinking the camel urine, but it is about torturing some people to death. Okay, that is absolutely, terrible things that they,
Mm.
because usually they just talk about the first part, but the second part make it 100,000 times or percent absolutely fabricated, because it goes 1,000 times against Quranic verses that say be mercy, or even if you punish equal, okay, even if you have to punish, but forgive. Quran says forgive. And then that hadith is so barbaric, so
Mm.
terrible. Okay. Yes.
So, Muji, what would happen if, say, you convert someone to Islam and then he goes away, and then when you see him again, he's drinking camel urine and drinking woman's milk and
Okay.
joining ISIS, um,
Yeah. Okay, I
and
say you're
following the
I say
cutting the
you
hands
went
off and
uh,
cutting the
yeah.
heads off of people.
Okay, I say
Um,
you went totally
how do you
wrong.
stop from that from doing? You're gonna have to,
No,
like, I don't know, educate the
okay.
people or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If somebody is going to be converted by me, I hope somebody do that. Yeah, I will try to, to teach him before he goes somewhere. I have said to some converted as well. Please, you have question, talk to me, okay? Because I know some converted, they don't understand that they follow this uh, backward, like that one David Wood was saying, that somebody who would converted and he joined ISIS, and then he later saw something, and then something crazy, that and then he became a non-Muslim. Okay, so anyway, so I try to say to them, I mean, teach them that absolutely you have to use your uh, rationality before, because it is commanded by God that use reasons, okay, for everything. Don't just swallow whatever your parents give you or people give you. You have to,
Or camel urine, don't swallow it, right?
yes, yes, don't do that. Yes, you have to get it. You have to think, make rational conclusion, not just follow blindly. Allah doesn't want blind people, okay, and
Mm.
deaf people who just like this and blind and then follow. He doesn't want such people. He wants that you follow by open eyes.
And I wanted to ask Rashid, when is he gonna chat with Arman? Arman said something about he wants to chat with Rashid on his channel, or have a friendly chat with him.
Yeah, I talked to him about it, and I think we are planning something for next month. He said he doesn't have he doesn't have the time for this month, unfortunately. But so
Okay,
Okay, so I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, me too.
but on which channel he's going to talk to you?
He said his channel. I don't know which one it is, and he has a few. He has his
Yes, yes, yeah. He
uh,
has
so I'm not exactly certain
he
as
has
to.
one is what is it? Atheist Republic. Another one is secular jihadist.
Yeah, and he
Se-
also has the one for Amin Navabi. He also has that one, which is,
that one I don't know. I
yeah,
just
it's
know.
named after his name as well. He has one like that. So I'm not sure. I'm not.
I, I just wanted one day to tell him that I don't like what he does. What he does is he's a kind of businessman. Okay, he sells T-shirts. Okay, he humiliate people's beliefs. For example, Jesus. He put Jesus having sex with somebody, or Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and he humiliate even Hindu gods. Just he wants some publicity. Okay, and this is absolutely, I wanted to tell him that you even you don't believe, you have to respect people's belief. Okay, this is totally wrong to do that, to just for selling some t-shirt. Okay, he has one, unfortunately, one Facebook page which has 2.2 million followers, Martin. Okay, and he all the time selling t-shirts, like this. You want this t-shirt, get it here. And then they make avatar about different Jesus and other Hindu gods and Prophet Muhammad, and make them humiliate them. In reality, it's terrible. what he does.
I'm surprised not Muslims attacking him or something like, because I know some Muslims
Yeah, I
attack
disagree with
people
that.
like that or something,
Yeah,
and
I
they cut
know.
their
Yes,
they kill them.
I say yes. I say that. Okay, he maybe hide himself. I disagree with that actually, and I disagree with what he does, and I disagree with such a reaction. Okay, because uh, even Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, himself, was ordered that you just invite people. You are not controller over them. You know, even Allah was saying to him that turn your face. We know what they say about you. Yeah, he wasn't telling them kill them. You know, he was saying turn your face away. You just invite them, and we know what they say about you because people were saying bad things about you. Understand?
I know that's like David Wood. He thought he would have been killed a long time ago. That's why he didn't care about his weight. But he was surprised that he wasn't killed by some extremist Muslim yet.
Yes.
So now he's fasting and stuff to lose weight.
No, look,
Um,
Martin, these
mm,
extremists, they kill even Muslims. Yeah, for example,
mm.
extremist Shia would kill, Sunni. Extremist Sunni would kill Shia. So they kill even Ahmadiyya. They kill anybody who
So Muji,
disagree.
what's the chances of them coming for me, Muji?
Chances for what?
Some radical Muslim coming to kill me, Muji, for trying
Uh,
to help
yeah, those
or something.
radical. I mean, those radicals, they can kill anybody. Yeah. So if they catch you, perhaps they kill you too.
Yeah,
So
so what because I wanna help them, so I wanna go on their channels and
okay,
stuff.
don't go. No, okay.
No, no.
You mean on the channels? Okay,
Yes, on the
but
channels
they cannot
of
kill you.
extremists and stuff. Yeah, but
Yeah,
they
but
can perhaps find me somehow and then come for
I don't
me.
think. Yeah, I don't think that
Okay,
you are.
so if
I
it
mean,
will take years and years perhaps, and then they
but
might come for me, Muji.
I think I mean that if they have the opportunity, not those channels. Okay, I don't think they would do that, despite they have extreme beliefs. But for example, ISIS. If you talk about ISIS and such a people, yeah,
Do they have a
they,
channels or not?
no, they don't have, of course.
What
They
about
would
Daniel?
they
I
would
thought
have.
you called him ISIS.
No, what I'm saying that Daniel, even there was a Muslim sister who was giving a proof that Daniel uh, sympathized with ISIS in the past. He did it. Okay, so it is not that just I say, but what I'm saying mostly is that whatever he says is exactly like ISIS. They say also the same things. Okay, he has the same. He has this capacity. Okay, he has this understanding that he could be easily the same. Okay, maybe he's not going to. I don't know. Maybe he would do also kill. But in reality, ISIS itself as an organization, I know ISIS is a political organization. It's not really, you know, a religious organization. They abuse religion. I know that ISIS was doing all those things because they had the order. Can you imagine, Martin? They had the order from those who found the Iranian regime. Okay, the General Qasem Soleimani. He took them from Baghdad and Iraqi prison and brought them to Syria. It's a very long story, yeah. And they gave them weapons, everything, okay, and they ordered them to, to commit the most brutal, uh, you know, uh, genocide and all these crimes, yeah, and show it to the world. Why they wanted to show it so much? They were desperate to show how barbaric they are, so that Assad say to the world that if I go, they take the power. Okay, so that Assad can kill Syrian Free Army. And Russia, even Russia, when they went to Syria, they said we are going to fight ISIS. But according to CNN, 90% of the attacks was on Syrian Free Army. And never ISIS and Syrian army, they fought against each other. Never. Okay. This ISIS, they were fighting against Syrian Free Army, the real revolutionary in Syria. Okay. And Anyway, so and even Russia, that 10% that was said by CNN that they attacked ISIS, I'm 100% sure they were not bombing ISIS, they were dropping in the area perhaps, okay? Because
Alika says he wants you to respond to the hadith that he brought up.
which hadith?
He's waiting a long time, it seems.
Okay, which
If you
hadith?
scroll up,
Uh,
it's the keep on
okay,
reciting the Quran for the one who has hand. Yeah, that
who
one.
has whose hand
Mm.
whose hand my life is, the Quran slips away from memory faster than camels skipping their what? Tying
Flying ropes.
ropes.
Mm.
Sahih al-Bukhari. I don't understand. Do you understand what it says, Brother Rashid? Because
Yeah,
keep keep on reciting the Quran, for by the one in whose hand my life is, it means God, yeah. The Quran slips away from memory faster than camels. So what the hadith means, I don't understand. Do you understand?
yeah, I know. It's just basically quoting a hadith taken from Sahih al-Bukhari, where the Prophet is encouraging people to stick to the Quran, and
Okay.
because uh, I mean the translation it's actually not like that in the Arabic, but we'll go with that. Um, where he's encouraging people to stick to the Quran because the Quran slips away. So he gives uh, this similitude where he says the Quran slips away from you, just
Mhm.
like, for example, a tied up camel, for example, slips from its horse.
Yeah. Yes.
When it is tied up, it slips away really fast because it wants to get away when you have it tied up. So the
Yeah. Yeah.
Quran, so you have to keep hold to the Quran, keep it with you. Don't
Mhm.
let it slip away from you. That's
Yeah. Yeah.
basically the message behind the hadith.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why you have to. Why is that something that we have to comment on?
I don't know either.
I don't know. He wanted to.
Okay.
Rashid got
Anyway.
it. He said Rashid got it. Alika said Rashid got it right or
All right.
something.
Very good. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So I was talking. Let me continue about this. That ISIS is really a political organization. Is not nothing to do with religion. I explained that how they were built. Okay. And even look, Martin,
Mm.
they attacked 3 times Iran, 3 times, okay, in all these years. And every time they
Mm.
attack Iran, Iran ordered that. They wanted, for example, there was a in what is it? Poland, okay, USA, during Trump, they were holding a summit meeting for making what is it, a coalition against Iranian regime. Okay, one day before that, ISIS attacked one military parade, yeah, military parade, and they didn't kill a single military what is it, military personnel. They just killed people who were watching, ordinary people who were watching. Okay, just one day before, so that they say to for example, meeting in Warsaw in Poland, that look, yeah, we are victims of the terrorism. So several times, for example, another time they attacked, and it was questioned by Iranian, majority of Iranian people. There was in Voice of America as well. Okay, that for example, there was an attack on Iranian parliament. Okay, that ISIS had done. They went inside, and instead they go inside the parliament and kill the parliamentarian. What they did, they went to upstairs and killed ordinary people who had come and had some things to do there. Yeah, ordinary people, instead killing the parliamentarian. So they knew that they want this attack, but they don't want to uh, any MP get hurt. Okay, just ordinary people must get hurt. So many things was also controversial there, and then this Voice of America was also analyzing it, that how they go all this way and they want to attack and they don't kill a single, MP, to just show that they are a victim of terrorism. So ISIS was mostly, you know, puppet of Iranian regime and Assad regime, to show the world that if they get Assad goes, then ISIS take the power. Understand? So these
And so, who's
people,
the puppet of Daniel Aikachu? Or is he a puppet of someone else? Or
who is puppet?
I don't know, Daniel Aikachu. He also wants to kill everyone. And
No, that,
uh,
no, Daniel Hagaju, I can say, like those ISIS followers, yeah, he's also somebody who's absolutely, uh, totally without any knowledge. He believes in terrible, stupid things. Okay, and of course, even those ISIS followers, researchers were saying that many of them, they go just for sex. Okay, and then some of them, they just go for killing because they maybe play uh, these games on TV and so on. Then they want to go there and do it in real time. Understand? So the researchers were also saying that most of them, they don't go there for religious purpose. Okay, they go for such a things. Many of them were young. Understand? And many of them without any knowledge. For example, this there is this Majid Nawaz. He's British. Majid Nawaz. He was an extremist himself, and he said that I was. Later, he read Quran and he changed. Yeah, he said without reading Quran, I was extremist, without knowing anything. So many of them really, they don't understand, and they just fall in the hand of extremists. Okay, and extremism. And for example, like this, what was it, Tony? Yeah, Tony, the guy who came to my channel, and he was Boomer, Tony Boomer. Yeah, he himself, he was supporting stoning adulterers. He even didn't know is it in Quran or in Hadith. Can you imagine? He was online. He was saying that, can someone confirm if it is on Hadith or Quran? I wanted to tell him that you even don't know
oh,
if it.
that guy that came in here and he was screaming at you and everything.
Yes, extremely. And his method was that he even didn't know if it is Quran or Hadith, and he was defending. No, if happened like this, yes, we have to stone them to death. Yeah, if they do it on the street, yeah, yeah. Understand? So, and he even didn't know if it is really Quran or Hadith. His knowledge was so narrow that, and then he was supporting this barbaric act. I don't know, brother Rashid, what happened to him. He
And
just
he was
left.
coming in here and telling you that you are using his face for
Yes, yes,
fame or for money or stuff like that.
his fame, as if as he was, I don't know, if he was like, what is it, like David Wood, at least 700,000 followers. He just had few thousand followers, and he was asking, I'm using his, excuse me, I'm just calling you, you to understand that you have no right to defend something that you even don't know if it is Hadith or Quran. You have so much, you know, such a lack of knowledge, and you
Muji,
defend it.
did you see what happened to David Wood's channel? He
Alika
gave
said,
it to that woman that
yeah,
you
wait,
don't
wait.
like, Muji.
Alika says, Kenny Boomer, a question. Yes, Kenny Boomer. Yes, Kenny
Mm.
Boomer. So what do you say? Sorry, sorry.
Did you see what happened to David Wood's channel? He deleted all
I
his
know, I know,
videos,
I know, and
and then
gave
he
it to
gave it to that girl that you don't like.
that. I don't
And
like. It's
your
terrible.
inner introduction, Muji, on her
Yeah.
channel was 7,000 or 700,000 followers. You're in there saying,
Yeah.
no, we have to abrogate it.
No, I just said it now. I just said it now that certain thing. I mean, that verse. I said it now. That verse about fasting from sunrise to sunset will be abrogated in North Sweden. It's not possible to follow. Yes, sorry,
Rashid said, yeah.
yeah, sorry, guys. I got pulled away. Very nice chat. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm gonna be listening. Okay, my brother. Thank you.
Cheers,
Thank you
Rashid.
for thank you for being here. We inshallah see
Thank you
you.
for your knowledge.
Yes,
Mm.
of course. Yes, we
And not being scared to bring up stuff
of course.
that
Yes.
other
Uh,
Muslims say it should never be brought up in public,
no, no,
Muji. Never, never.
no. Brother Rashid. Yes, I have, of course, we have disagreement in something, me and Brother
Like
Rashid,
what,
but
Muji?
about punishment.
So we
Yeah.
all have disagreements, Muji.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody have disagreement with each other, but anyway, we
What
understand
punishment, Muji? About
anything.
stoning or what?
No, 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 no,
Any
no, no,
punishment?
no, no, no. About execution and such things. I mean, any punishment that I am against any punishment.
So how much
Because,
Muhammad give people punishment?
I mean, as I understand, he was what is it? The most merciful and forgiving. Okay,
But he did
because he
give,
was
according to most Muslims. He
no. I mean, they say that yes, but according what I have gathered is that he even forgave his biggest. I mean, not maybe forgive, but he didn't punish his biggest enemies like Abu Sufyan, who had killed hundreds of people, the killer of his uncle, uh, Abu Sufyan's wife, okay, and all those Meccan's residents, okay. So he just for, forgave everybody. Understand? He said, "We are not going to harm anyone." Understand? So this is what I understand, that he didn't punish people when he didn't punish those who deserved. Yeah, according many, those who deserved punished, he didn't punish. Okay, so
Yeah, I
he
wonder what
didn't.
Rashid would say.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Um, Holy Armor said gave you uh, a comment there,
okay.
but I can't read the comment. It's,
Who gave?
the- yeah, there at the bottom, Muji.
Okay, holy armor. Well, okay, so I don't know what you are going to say.
What is
Okay.
he talking about?
I,
But I would love to hear what Rashid says about if Muhammad ever punished someone.
okay. Maybe he disagreed,
Holy,
but Muhammad peeked out the eyes of a guy with.
hot
Okay,
nails,
okay. That's
fabricated hadith for what?
no. Look, that I said that's what you just listen to any trash without any any analyzing that how come it contradict Quran, it contradict those other narratives that, for example, as I said, the battle of Martin, in the battle of Badr, there was a battle, and when he saw his soldiers, they have tied the enemy's hands and draw them. Okay, don't listen to me first. Then he people listen. People listen and they decide. Okay, so when he saw that his soldiers, they have tied the enemy's hands and they draw them, he became angry with them and said, "Open their hands, treat them well, share your food equally with them, and each prisoners who teach 10 Muslims reading and writing, they will go, free." And this is exactly what Quran teaches us, okay? That says that either ransom them or keep them until the war lay down, okay? And then, what is it? Such a person who and is that, imagine that you are there, you are a companion of Prophet Muhammad, Martin, and this guy that you are capturing, okay, he killed your uncle or your friend 10 minutes ago or half an hour ago, and the Prophet tells you, feed that person, treat it well, and feed that person with equal mouth. Understand? So for you would be like this, that excuse me, what they're talking about, he killed my uncle or he killed my friend half an hour ago, and you tell me to give him my food equally. You hear me, Martin? Okay. So this doesn't make sense that somebody says that, oh, he was so brutal that
But
that
Muji, couldn't he be like that in some case, and then sometimes he says, "No, this guy doesn't
okay,
deserve."
all right, okay. So
Um,
let me tell you, if he did, okay, if he did it, he went
Perhaps he
up.
was naughty, Muji,
All right, let me say, if
or
he
was he
did,
never naughty?
no, no, I say, if he did, which absolutely did, he went against Quranic,
Mm.
because I learned Quran. I can read for you from Ali radiallah. Okay, you want me to read? I have read it many times. How I cannot imagine that such a person existed 1400 years ago, so merciful, so forgiving. Okay, he says to his governor of Egypt that, forgive people. Okay, let me. I have to read. I have to bring it up and read, because I cannot. It's better to read. As friendly Muslim says, I have to come with fact. Okay.
It seems like it's a Sahih hadith that the hands, the
Mhm.
nails through the
Okay.
eyes,
They say even. Okay. They say even. Even. Uh, well, let me see.
according to Alika.
Yeah, I say even that sheep, that goat ate the verses of Quran. They say even that one is authentic. Okay, so I don't care
But
what
perhaps
they
it
say.
is Muji. Perhaps it is. You never
I
know,
don't
Muji.
care. Okay, so let me see. Let me say.
See, you don't
Ali,
care about anything, Muji. You don't care
okay,
about.
let me say. Let me say.
I'm
No, wait,
joking.
wait, wait.
You
I'm
do
just.
that, Muji.
I know. I know. Wait. I say. I say, Martin. Look,
Yeah.
Ali says to his own governor of Egypt, says, people do bad deeds because of different reasons, intentionally or by mistake. But you forgive them as you expect that your God forgives your bad deeds. You are stronger than the people, but remember that the one who have put you is stronger than you, and God is stronger than the one who has put you there. The worst people for you must be those who try to reveal people's mistake and sins, because people make mistakes and sins, and the governor is the one who must cover them. Do not try to find out people's mistake, because your duty is to fix the problem that leads people to bad deeds, and it is God's rights to judge people, not you, not yours. Cover people's mistakes and sins as much as you can, so that God covers yours. Malik, don't fight God, because you can't get away from his anger, and you will always need his mercy and forgiveness. And whenever you forgive someone, do not regret it, and never be happy to punish someone. Okay, so these are some of things that I myself, I get from Quran. Okay, I learn from Quran that I have to be mercy. That's why I say to Brother Rashid
Yeah,
also. I
Muji,
say,
I wish it was just those. I wish
yes.
only those verses existed
Okay.
in
All right.
Islam.
Let
Then
me.
I would
Yes.
have been
Okay.
happy.
Let me see. This holy armor says that 9:29, those who do not believe in Allah and the last, okay, even though they were given the scripture, and who do not look, um, Mr. Holy Armor, if you are Mr. or Mrs., you do exactly what ISIS does. You take one verse of Quran and say this is it. Okay, so we have to follow only this verse. Okay, this is absolutely wrong. You have to put these verses beside other verses of Quran, and you see, for example, I can read for you. When you read these verses, you understand, you get the right interpretation of that verse 9:29. Okay, 68. Okay, is chapter 60, verse 8. Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you because of your religion, and do not expel you from your home, from your homes, from being righteous towards them and acting justly towards them. Indeed, Allah loves those who act justly. Okay, so and then next one is also verse 9. Allah only forbids you from those who fight you because of religion and expel you from your homes. And aid in your expulsion, that forbids you that you make allies of them, and whoever makes allies of them, then it is those who are the wrongdoers. So you put that verse beside these verses. These verses explain that Allah doesn't talk about everybody. Allah talks about only those who fight you. Okay, so you want to do exactly like ISIS, that's up to you. Okay, do exactly like ISIS. And chapter 29 verse 46, and do not argue with the people of the scripture except in a way that is best, except for those who commit injustice among them, and say, we believe in that which has been revealed to us and revealed to you, and our God and your God is one, and we are Muslims. Okay, chapter 2, verse 62. Those who believe and those who are Jews and Christian and Sabians, whoever believe in Allah and the last day and do righteous good deeds shall have their rewards with their Lord. On them shall be no fear. No, there are many, many verses, and you take one verse and say that, oh, this is all. Okay. Blue is holy armor Christian. Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's,
Muji,
yeah. Yes.
Muji, all these beating of wives and cutting off hands and cutting people's heads off, you would say the problem is in Muslims.
Yes.
What if the problem is in Islam itself, perhaps,
Okay.
and which is causing these Muslims to try and follow these
Because I'm
verses the
first of
best
all,
way they want, like think?
no. First of all, I'm not the only one, Martin. Okay.
Mm.
And secondly,
What if you were the only one, Muji?
I'm not the only one
But what
because
if?
I don't know. I cannot say something about
Okay.
what if. Okay, what if? I'm just saying that I'm not the only one. Okay. For example, my organization also, they are they believe the same, and there are many, many scholars also. There are scholars. First of all, those who are in my organization, also for me, they are scholars, and there are other scholars who disagree with them. Understand?
So the problem is in Muslims, not in Islam.
Exactly. Problem
Okay.
is no. Problem
What
is
about Hadith?
no, no, no.
Is the problem
Problem.
Hadith or what?
I can say problem is with the people, all people, not only
Okay.
Muslims, in most religions. Okay, or
Okay.
even
What about Hadith? Is the problem also there as well? Or what?
I mean, hadith is, of course, mostly problem comes from the hadith. Most problems comes from the hadith, not from Quran. Okay, and I'm not so as I everybody. If somebody doesn't know me, so I'm not Quranist, but many hadiths are problematic and fabricated. So there are
So that's why
authentic.
some people become Quranists because they think there's
Yes,
a lot of
they,
problem under these, so we're gonna just
yes,
reject all of
but
them.
that's for me. That's absolutely wrong. Okay, because
Okay.
I believe that yes, I believe that we need hadiths also, and I cannot reject authentic hadiths that which goes. For example, Prophet Muhammad says that the pleasure you get in forgiveness, you never get it in revenge. Okay, I read it for my colleague. He's a Christian from Latin America. He's from Peru. He said, "Wow, such a nice things." Yeah, so such a deep. He asked me even to send it to him. So it's such a things. Okay, goes exactly in line with Quran, and I accept it. Yeah, so I cannot reject this and say no. I reject even this one. It goes in line with Quran, and I accept it. And yes, many things. There are many, many things that I don't want to go into that discussion now. That says that we need hadiths, yeah, but authentic one, not fabricated one. One verse, yes, one verse. I say, even I say, okay, the holy armor say one verse. I say you either have to say you are not a Muslim, holy armor. So if I could talk to, for example, to an ISIS or an extremist Muslim, say, oh look, this verse says that we have to go and kill non-Muslims, those who go and blow up
Or
people. Yeah,
beat your wives or what?
yes, as well. Okay, we come to that one later. If someone says that that verse says so that, and then we have to do that, then I tell him that either Allah contradicts himself or you are so ignorant, so uneducated, you don't understand. So the Muslim cannot say Allah contradict himself when he says in these verses, yes, in those verses that say, uh, For Allah does not forbid you from those who do not fight you, and so on, and many 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 other verses. So you take just one verse beside all these verses, so many, I can read for you hundreds of verses that Allah forbid us from fight even against those who do not fight us. Okay, he says fight as long as they fight. When they stop fighting, you stop fighting too, because Allah does not those who transgress. Okay, so don't bring for me one or two verses, take it out of context and say, oh, this is Allah, what Allah says. Understand? So, and then, for example, I say it's all about follow Muhammad's gang or pay money. All right, okay. So, all right, I cannot
The
answer you.
tax
Yes,
stuff. He's probably
yes,
talking about that.
yes.
But Muji, I want to ask you something, Muji,
Yeah.
but I don't want to offend you or anything, Muji.
No, 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 no.
But if you realize many of the hadiths are authentic,
Yeah, but Marty,
would
I've
that be a
told you.
problem for? Would that be a problem for me? Because when Muji said, if apostate prophet could give a better solution,
Yeah,
then he would follow apostate prophet.
yeah,
If
okay.
there's
Yeah,
a if, Muji.
yeah.
So
But look,
I'm
look, look.
asking the same thing.
Okay.
If the
Yeah.
hadiths are authentic, Muji,
Mhm.
would that be a problem for you, or
But I just say, okay. I say if there
all the
was
hadiths?
no, no. Look,
Mm,
look. I don't follow uh, ISIS and Taliban. I hate them. Okay,
mm.
so that's if it was that one, yes, of course I would. I am already a great enemy of that ideology, whatever it is. Okay, I don't care, whatever it is. So I'm
So what if
against.
you're supporting that ideology
I'm not
indirectly,
doing.
Muji?
Oh no, look,
Indirectly.
no, I'm not doing that. I know that. Okay, I'm not doing that. I'm supporting a beautiful ideology. Okay, that teaches me, and taught me, Martin. Before I become Muslim, I thought that yes, if you kill somebody, then you have to be executed. But now, that religion made me to understand that no, I have no right to punish anybody, even a mass murderer. Okay, all I have, the right I have, is that I treat that mass murderer, put him in not jail, in a treatment center. Okay, lock him up. All right, but treat him to see what was the wrong. You saw, I read for you from Ali radiallahu said to his governor, your duty is to find out what was the problem. It's Allah's duty to punish people, okay, and judge people. So I'm not going to judge people. I'm not going to punish people. So this is what I have learned from this religion, and I love it. Okay.
So if Muji joins ISIS, then we have to treat him, right?
Yes.
We have
Yeah.
to.
Martin, you're such a naughty boy. You're such a naughty boy. What is your criteria for authentic? I have said it, Alika, many times. My criteria is Quran. Okay, if it contradicts Quran, then it's fabricated. Okay, and of course it has to be rational as well. Okay, it's not just anything that, for example, uh, I don't know, I can come with an example. But for example, if you eat food, you have to eat with your, I don't know, left hand or something like this. Okay, uh, it doesn't contradict Quran, but it doesn't make sense either. So it has to make also sense. All right. So now it's not just contradicting Quran; it has to make sense as well.
So
Understand?
Muji, can I give you another if?
Ah, yeah, yeah,
If
yeah. Let me tell you,
can I?
one of them say that one of them says that if you want to enter a bathroom, then you have to enter with your right foot. Okay, and this is doesn't make sense. But
Okay. So
if I
Muji is fabricated,
no,
right?
no, I mean that it doesn't contradict Quran. There is nothing that say against that. But the thing is that it doesn't make sense either. What for? If you give me a rational explanation and I understand that, yes, okay, yeah. If, for example, you enter the bathroom with your left foot and then you fall every time you enter, so you better, of course, everybody understand. You better go with your right foot. But if nothing happens, everything is fine. I don't even look with which foot I enter the bathroom. Okay, so this is crazy. So this is absolutely fabricated. Okay, Moji is quant what
Quoting.
quoting everything out of context. Okay, we can read the tafsir. Okay, you can read the tafsir of whoever you want. Okay, but I say, I don't. I have said many times that person, whoever it is, the first of all, I have said um, there are other scholars that who go against those tafsir and those scholars. Okay, there are many scholars, so it's not just the scholar you decide that I have to follow that scholar that you decide. Absolutely not. Secondly, in the judgment day, that scholar is not going to answer for me and my sins and my stupid understanding of things. I'm going to answer myself. Okay, so you cannot tell me that this scholar said like this, then I have to follow that scholar. Okay, another one for X when Muhammad says no compulsion in religion. The context is that Christian parents had a son. They don't want their son to convert to Islam. And then Muhammad told them there is no compulsion. All right. Ridiculous. Okay. But Alika says, but if hadith contradict the Quran, you have a contemporary person exposing the falseness of Muhammad. What it says, Martin, Alika.
Sorry, I'm was gone. But if
But
your hadith contradicts the Quran, you have to have a what? Where did it go now?
okay, yes, it's again up.
Okay, to be person exposing the falseness of Muhammad, a contemporary person. I wish my
Yeah,
first
my
language was
English was
English.
yeah, mine too. I don't understand. I didn't understand very well. Below
I can
says
type it on the
it
internet. Let me
make
see.
no
The
sense.
fine.
Holy Omar. Holy Omar is shows that he just want to attack this religion, so he find every way. But we know that what happens to those leaving Islam, the penalty. Okay, holy armor. That's a fabricated hadith because it goes absolutely against Quran. Okay, and Quran says in many verses, understand that those who believe and those became kafir, and those who again believe and again became kafir. Okay, so if the penalty for, I have played it as well. You can go before as well. There are there was a scholar I played at. If the penalty for leaving Islam was death, then they wouldn't be able to come back again to Islam. Okay, so uh, I don't know if Brother Rashid was here. I have to bring the. If you want, I can bring the verse. Okay, let me do that. Okay. Uh,
But Muji, I wonder if you one day convert someone and then he reads all these verses and then he joins
you said it.
ISIS
You,
or
you said
something.
it. You said
So
it.
what Muji? So Muji, I want to say if that happens a lot, Muji, if Muji converts lots of people to Islam and lots of them read these verses in the Quran and Hadith and then have these radical views, um, causing all these bad deeds to be done because of Muji inviting them to this religion. Um, wouldn't that make a problem for you, Muji? Would you be
Martin,
okay supporting ISIS?
I have to read this chapter 2, verse 217. And whoever of you reverts from his religion, okay, to this, it's written to disbelief, reverts from his religion and dies while committing kufr, for those their deeds have become worthless in this world and the hereafter. This is the biggest punishment threat from Allah to those who believe and then leave. Okay, so their what is their deeds have become worthless in this world and the hereafter, and those are the companions of the fire. They will abide and therein entirely. Okay,
So, but what you believe is important, right?
Sorry.
So, what you believe is important because your good deeds can be abrogated or something, thrown away. Um,
Because no, look, it says it's not about that. It's about becoming a kafir, okay, and doing bad deeds. Understand? So you, when you do bad deeds, you, those before your deeds, even if you have done good deeds in the past, they will be erased by God. Okay.
oh, okay.
So it's about uh, I mean, it's not one verse. I have said it, okay, many times. When you read Quran entirely, so for example, I can first this one, and then I can read for you. uh, Whoever of you should revert, okay. I think now will bring forth, okay, so chapter 5 verse 54. O you who have believed, whoever of you should revert from his religion, Allah will bring forth a people he will love and who will love him, okay, humble towards the believers, powerful against the kuffar. They strive in the cause of Allah. So you see, this, there is nothing in these verses that those who revert from beliefs kill them, okay. Chapter 47 verse 38. uh, Here you are, those invited to spend in the cause of Allah, but among you are those who withhold, and so withhold out of greed, and whoever withholds only and withholds from himself, and Allah is the free of need, while you are the needy. And if you turn away, he will replace you with another people, then they will not be the like of you. But there are many, many verses of Quran, and let me wait. What was that verse? Okay, yes, equality, because yes, Martin, he asked me about belief.
I
Okay.
am here.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yes, yes. You asked me about belief and disbelief. Look, chapter
Mm.
49, verse 13. Allah says, "O mankind." Okay. It doesn't say, "Oh Muslims" or believers or whatever. He said, "O mankind." So it's about everybody. Okay. Muslims or non-Muslim. Indeed, we have created you from male and female, and made you peoples and tribes, that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most, it is written righteous, but in my interpretation is the one who sacrificed most, okay? The one who sacrificed most of you. Indeed, Allah is knowing, all aware. So Allah is not saying that all Muslims, okay? It says all mankind. So the best of us, and there is another verse. Let me see. Equality again. I will bring for you a verse like equality between okay, yes, okay. This chapter 3, verse 21. Allah says, "Those who commit kufr against the signs of Allah and kill the prophets without right, and kill those who order justice." Okay, is actually this justice is in reality it is has been translated as justice, but it is equality, Martin. Okay, you read, you
Mm.
hear me? Okay, do you
Yes.
hear me, Martin? Yeah, look, it
Yes.
says,
Justice is equality.
no, in reality, no, I say the word in Arabic is qist. Okay, they have translated as justice, but it is equality. Okay,
Mm.
so anyway, say those who kill prophets, and those, it doesn't say Muslims, and those, whoever that order equality from among the people, okay, those who among the people who order for equality, the killer of them, Allah prized them as equal to the killer of a prophet. Okay, so this was said by a great scholar. Okay, a great scholar was saying that there are many scholars who says that Quran is talking about those who didn't receive the message, or Martin, or received the message but they didn't understand it. Okay, but anyway they are spreading the message of equality. Though if they get killed, okay, Allah, he was talking about the greatness of Allah, that he's so great that he understands that people, okay, may don't understand, maybe they don't get the message, or maybe they get the message but they are not understanding the message.
What if
That's
they don't believe the message? What if
no,
they don't
exactly.
believe the message?
Okay, the thing is that I say they don't believe in the message because not because they are bad people. It's because they don't understand it, but they don't believe it. Oh no, I cannot, because it's, for example, it's not in their capacity that they understand
So,
that this message is from God. So Allah bring them to the, according that scholar as well, bring them in the category of a messenger of God. Okay, and that's why in my organization, okay, we believe that even a Marxist, okay, who is putting his life and he get killed for spreading the message of equality, he is also a martyr. Okay, that's why we call them also martyr. All right.
but Muji,
Yes.
my brain went blank. You can
Okay.
read the comments, Muji.
Yes. Okay. All right. Yeah,
You
okay.
brainwashed me, Muji.
Reckoning will be done by Allah. What? Reckoning accounts will be done by Allah. Okay.
Oh, now I remember, Muji.
Okay, there are
But you
lots
can
of,
go through the comments.
but there are
Okay, too
lots of
many
other.
comments.
Yeah,
Okay,
there
so
are.
Muji, what I wanted to ask, Muji, is it important to believe,
Uh,
or isn't it super important to believe? Is it
okay,
bad to be a disbeliever, like
okay.
Muji?
Yeah, okay. Look, Holy says that mankind is a nas. It's a way of saying yes. It doesn't say mankind is yes. Ayyuhan nas. It says okay, and it doesn't say all believers. It doesn't say all Muslims. Okay, it's talking about all mankind. All right. So I don't know what you want to come with that. So what do you ask, Martin? Please.
Now, is it important to believe God's words? Is
Important,
it
yes.
important? Yes.
Why?
And
Because I have said it many times, because it helps us to have a better life, and God wants us to have a better life, not killing each other, not hating each other and so on. So this is,
but can not believing make you end up in hell because you believe I don't have to do good works or whatever,
so
and
okay.
then so you don't believe God's words? Can that cause you to go to hell,
uh,
being unbeliever?
no, I this is
So
what
you
I
can't
believe.
go to hell without.
Okay, all right, let me tell you, this is what, not only what I believe, what those scholars that I know, they believe also. Okay, let me read for you. I have to give verses of Quran without um, and, and
Because I know, according to the Bible, Muji would be classified as an unbeliever
okay, yeah,
because he
and
doesn't
this,
want to. He doesn't want to believe the good news that God came for to save us, to sacrifice, to provide us with the ultimate sacrifice.
mhm.
Sacrificed everything to save us.
Okay.
Muji
Allah
doesn't want
says,
to believe that. So
okay, look, Allah says in chapter 56, verse 60, is the rewards for good anything but good? Okay, and uh, chapter 23, verse 102, and those whose scale are heavy, okay, it is they who are the successful, okay, entering heaven. uh, okay, 23, next one, 23, 103, but those whose scale are light, those are the one who have lost their souls, being in hell, abiding entirely. uh, chapter 28, verse 77. Do good to others as Allah has done good to you. Chapter 42, verse 23. Anyone who does good to others, we give more good for him in it. Anyone, okay? Chapter 22, verse 37. Give good news to those who do good to others, okay? Chapter 39, verse 10. Ultimate good awaits those who do good in this world. Okay, so there are many uh, verses like this. Allah loves those who are doers of good to others. Chapter 3, verse 134. Okay, many
So
verses
you
like
don't
that.
have to believe God's words. You can just do good deeds and
No, look,
then.
look. Okay, uh, why we believe in God, okay, is
Mm,
again because we follow His guidance. Okay, so if I said it also before, what you in some debate to these atheists, which command of Allah you reject, that when He says um, give to needy, okay, take care of orphans, take care of your family, relatives, and so on. Okay, um, let me give these verses also that as I said. So if you do good deeds, okay, you have followed Allah's command, even if you don't believe in Allah. Okay, if you do those good deeds,
but even
let
if you
me
do good deeds and you do one bad deeds, all those good deeds will be
no
thrown away.
no dependent. It says Allah says that with Allah says Quran shirk. What happened? Okay, late. Allah says that the scale, Martin. Okay,
Mhm.
He says that if you if you avoid major bad deeds, okay, we forgive your minor bad deeds. Okay, and then He said many places. Now I read for you. Those whose scale is heavier, okay, scale of bad deeds is heavier than good deeds, they also will be punished. All right. So it depends on
So
what
how do
kind
you
of,
know how your scale is, Muji?
yeah,
Is
I
your
don't know.
scale good enough? Is your scale good enough, Muji?
That one I find out when I go.
But Muji,
That one I find out that time. Okay.
Muji, you're betting your life, Muji. So you
Okay. No,
better be hundred
no,
percent sure, Muji, that the
no.
scale is good. Like,
Okay. Okay. If you ask me like that, then I say I believe because I haven't done, anything like that. I have done a lot good. Like I have sacrificed, okay, many things for other people. I've said it many times. 35 years, okay. I haven't been able to see my family just because I want that other people have also freedom, a good life. I could just leave and then I say I don't care about other people and I enjoy my life. Okay, but I haven't done it. Let me read for you this chapter 107, verse 1 through verse 7. Martin, okay, it says, "Have you seen the one who denies the religion?" Okay, you listen to me. Yes, Martin.
mm,
Okay, chapter chapter 107, verse 1 through verse 7. Okay, so I read for you. Have you seen the ones who denies the religion? That is the one who repulses the orphan and does not encourage the feeding of the poor. This is what those who reject God, okay, they do like this. Then it continues, say, so woe to those who pray yet are not mindful of their prayers, those who only show off and refuse to give even the simplest aid. Martin,
mm.
look, here Allah put those who pray and just pray for showing off beside those who disbelieve. So it doesn't matter if you believe or pray, fasting, or you don't do that. When you do the same, when that so-called Muslim whose car collection is $1 billion, he is the same like those who are, who don't believe and
So
do the
many
same.
of these Muslims are going to hell, Muji, according to you.
I mean, I don't say like that, okay, but I know that they are not following
They are
Allah's
in
command.
trouble, right?
They are in trouble. Yes, they are not following Allah's command. He say, give. He say, give to needy. He take care of the orphans. Excuse me, you have billions of dollars. Why you have kept them? He said it. I have read many verses. I can find them. Okay, I wish that Rashid was here because he has many of them in his mind memorized, but I have them noticed. Yeah, that Allah all the time encourage us to give, to help, to support. To fight for those who are oppressed. This is what I'm doing now. Okay, I'm fighting for those who are oppressed. I had actually I should have this Zoom tomorrow. Sorry, this stream tomorrow. I put it today because tomorrow was going to be that Zoom meeting, and I wanted to be there. Okay, but there was a terrorist threat. Albanian government said that don't hold this meeting tomorrow, so they made it tonight. Okay, and
Mm.
I had already said to everybody that I'm going to have this stream with you, so that's why at the same time I was having that, so that I show my participant that there as well. So all I'm doing is also to help other people. Okay.
But Muji, I'm worried about you, Muji. I'm worried
Yes.
that you won't perhaps make it. Even you are like, I'm not sure, Martin. I'm not
Yeah.
sure my scale is good enough.
Okay.
And
Yes.
Muji, um,
No.
uh, the
No, I
Bible
didn't.
says you have to be perfect to get into
Okay.
heaven, Muji.
No, that's
Absolutely. There will be no one with
yeah.
sin allowed in
All right. That
heaven. So
yes, yes,
you have to
yes.
be made perfect by God.
Yes, that's your belief, that, and I respect it. Okay, but in Allah knows that people are, He says that I don't put much more than your soul can take it. Okay, He knows that we are people.
Mm.
We don't understand. Even He says that in the battle, when you capture them, bring them to you, these pagans, yeah, and talk to them. Maybe they understand, they hear you and they understand, because He knows that they don't understand. So all
Yeah,
He
that's
got.
why he knew we can't be perfect to get into
No, I
heaven.
know.
That's why he came to take our punishment so that we would be perfect in front of him
Okay.
and changes
uh,
our hearts to
okay.
soft hearts.
All right.
Um,
Okay.
Muji's heart it slowly becomes softer.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So
Muji,
let me,
I'm worried about you because even you say you don't know if your scale is good
uh,
enough, Muji.
no,
Even
because
you
no.
are like
Okay,
not even
because
Muhammad knew if he's gonna go
yes,
to heaven.
yes,
Like
because we know, we believe that the judgment is only on Allah. Okay, and He will judge us. I cannot judge myself. Okay, I cannot say that
okay.
I'm the one who go to heaven. You cannot either say that that priest that raped children. Okay, that priest will go to heaven just because he's a priest or he believe in Jesus. That's absolutely wrong. He raped children, and they were burying them. Yeah, it came in Canada out that they were, I don't know, killing them or burying, whatever. So it doesn't matter what you believe. In my understanding, it matter what you do. Okay, so you
Yeah, but
believe.
your doing shows what you believe, Muji.
No,
Your
yeah, look.
doing, if you really believe God and you
Mhm.
would then do what he says you should do.
So
If you
look,
really believe him
yeah,
and
yeah,
love
look,
him, and then you would do what he says you
yeah,
should do.
okay, you look. I say, without believing, when you, the one who I read for you now, the
Mm.
one who doesn't believe and do bad deeds is the same, as the one who believe and do bad deeds. Okay, it's the same. It doesn't matter if you pray and fasting or not. Okay,
So
it
people don't need to be Muslim. Like,
look it. I say,
just goes
if
about the good
if
deeds.
yeah, if you be Muslim, okay, you get more rewards. Okay, for your, for example, your,
72 versions or what?
no, for your fasting, your
Mm.
praying. Okay, so there are different categories in layers in heaven as well. For example, somebody who has done a little bit good deeds cannot go to the place that somebody who has a lot of good deeds. Okay, the one who put his life, for example. Okay, the one who
Mm.
sacrificed himself, or the prophets, for example, they also human, they go to heaven. So somebody who has done a little bit good deeds, okay, cannot go the same place that those prophets have gone. Okay, so this is what we understand, that the heaven has different layers. Okay, so just
What would
because.
you say about me doing good deeds because I love God, not to earn my way into heaven? I just do it because I love God.
Okay,
And I say, thank you, God, for saving me.
yes.
He has
So
already done all the hard work
okay,
um, to
so
get me
I
into
told you.
heaven.
Okay, okay. I
Because I
read.
think it's a little bit of bribing if I try and do good works to try and earn my way into heaven. I'm trying to bribe like a judge.
Salam alaikum.
Yes,
Walaikum
really.
salam.
How are you, inshallah, brother?
I'm good, brother. Alhamdulillah. How are you, brother?
You sound
Alhamdulillah.
half asleep.
Thank you. Yes. Mm, yeah.
I've got this new mic, so I don't know if it's
No, no.
muffled.
Your voice is also a little bit like you have been screaming and so on.
Sleeping or something.
No, no, or sleeping or sick or I don't know.
Okay, hang on.
But
Look, what now? What about
okay,
now?
now you're fine. No, just
Okay,
your
good.
your voice. Your voice is like that. Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Sleepy voice.
yes. Let me see. I'm going to read for you. And Martin,
Mm.
chapter 2, verse 62. Those who believe and those who are Jews and Christian and Sabian, whoever believes in Allah and the last day and do righteous good deeds shall have their rewards with their Lord. Okay, on them shall be no fear, nor shall they grieve. Okay, so
So
many
I'm
many
okay,
verses.
Muji.
So many
So I'm
verses.
okay.
Yes, you are okay, okay, according what I understand, as long as you do good deeds, okay, as long as the good deeds is that one of them is that avoiding bad deeds. That's a good
Mm.
deed, okay, avoiding bad deeds, avoiding especially major bad deeds, okay. Another thing is that helping other people, okay, that's
Mm.
also a good deed. So Allah understand that your what is it? Your weak, weakness, okay, your
Mm.
lacks, okay, he understand that one, understand. So and he understand that, okay, it was difficult for you to accept that, to believe in that, okay. Maybe, for example, you were, I just say like this, sorry, you were brainwashed, for example, okay, just like that, okay, I just say, but your intention was good, okay, and you are doing good deeds, you are not doing bad deeds. So that's why he understand that one. He's almighty God. He says, I know everything, okay. So when I
And what would
understand,
friendly Muslims say? Am I okay, a friendly Muslim?
okay, let's see. This
Am
is
I
according
okay?
to me.
Am I gonna
This
be
is
okay?
according. This is,
Is
but
Muji
the
right?
thing,
Am I
the
gonna be
thing is,
okay?
look, the thing is that as I said, this is what I read from Quran, okay, and this is why I understand. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to say yes. I'm sure you. I said that even I don't know myself. I'm sure that you, for sure, you go to
Isn't
heaven.
that a
Okay,
bit
but
scary, Muji? That you're
no,
not sure you're gonna be in heaven, Muji.
look, I say this is what I understand, and this is what is written there, okay. But the final judgment is with Allah, okay. That's not my final judgment. Final judgment is with Him. All right. So
Okay.
Alika, did you speak with them on the panel? Okay, I don't know. Alika suddenly say something with whom woman, which is what?
I think they're talking about EA Dawa or
Okay,
Issa Dawa. I think Aliko might have been on Issa Dawa,
okay.
on trolling in the comments, maybe. I don't know.
Uh, I haven't been on Isadawa. I have been on EA Dawa, but not Isadawa.
Yeah,
And I
you
just
came.
thought,
Was it last night, Midge?
yes, yes, I
Yeah, it
just
was
came.
last night, was it? Yeah.
Was it last night? I just,
Yeah.
or 2 days ago, I don't remember. But anyway, that time I just came to tell them about something terrible that, this Belgium government has done. Okay, Martin,
Mm.
usually like that, what was his name, this T-Jump, yeah, they say, oh, Islam is bad because look, in Muslim countries they are terrorists and so on. It was 2 3 weeks ago, in 2018, an Iranian diplomat, he brought a half a kilo explosive by a passenger plane to Vienna, okay, and then he took that bomb to Germany, gave it to two Iranian terrorists. They were going to bring it to Paris, where we met, me, my family, and tens of thousands of people. We were there. including European parliamentarian, American senators, and they were going to blow us up. It was going to be the biggest terrorist attack in Europe. These terrorists, they were caught before, yeah, and they were sentenced to 20 years in prison. And the government, Belgium government, they passed a law on Tuesday. For the first time, I think that was in the middle of the night, they passed that law, okay, that they are going to send these terrorists back to Iran, okay? A terrible, because Iranian regime has taken some hostage in Iran, uh, not even Belgium, citizen, okay? The Iranian government has taken one or two European, tourists as hostage, and said and send these terrorists back, and they are going to give in to Iranian demand. Okay, and this put many people's life in danger, because from now on, Iranian regime knows that, okay, I send the terrorists. If they get caught, I take hostage, and it opened the way that many parliamentarians, they were saying, excuse me, you are putting European citizens in danger, that they cannot travel. Already, USA has said that American citizen don't travel to Iran. Swedish government has said Swedish citizen don't travel to Iran, because they take you as hostage, and you are going to release a terrorist who has gotten 20 years jail. You are going to send him back. These are what they do. They support terrorism in this way, and then say, oh, Islam, oh, Islam. Excuse me. You are supporting the godfather of terrorism, international terrorism, and you put it on Islam. So that's what I was there, and I was trying to to say this news, that what these businessmen in the power, they do for some oil and gas, because they have also now some problem with Russia. They try to get Iranian oil and gas, so that's why they want to. If I've said many times, if ISIS had a country with oil and gas, they wouldn't say so much about, oh, ISIS, oh, ISIS. Because Iranian regime is worse than ISIS, but they have good relation with this, worse than ISIS, because ISIS didn't kill so many that Iranian regime has killed. Yeah. So they don't care about human rights. They don't care about people's life. All they care about is money and interest, unfortunately.
But I'm glad you didn't get killed, Muji. I'm glad you
Yes,
didn't get bombed.
yes, and that it wasn't only me. I say with my family, my children, we were there, and not only the bomb. When we were going to run away, many people would die, in stampede. People, because it was indoor, tens of thousands of people. Friendly Muslim, you talk. I will find a video
Yes.
about that.
Yeah.
Fast.
Alika, I don't know if you're saying that you were in Isadawa's chat and they banned you or something like that, or I mean, you can come to EA Dawa, and if you've got any reasonable questions, then they'll be answered. But if you're other than that, unless someone's trolling, you don't necessarily get banned from the chat. And Holy Armor, you're free to come over to EA Dawa as well. Martin, yeah, you can come over as well. What time is it now? In 4 hours, they're going live. Do you want to witness and talk about the Bible?
That's super late. I'm gonna be sleeping by then. They like go through the night or something.
They
Like
are
super late.
in USA. They are living in USA. So
Oh,
Yeah, so
yeah.
they start
See,
like at
that's a
11,
problem.
11 until the morning hours. So what's the time difference between here and you're South Africa, isn't it?
South Africa,
Yeah.
it's like
You're in the
Central,
UK, right? Or what?
Yeah.
yes,
What time
like
is it in
Central Europe.
South? What time
It's
South
like
Africa?
13 over 11.
13
11.
over
It's like
11,
almost
13.
11 p.m.
Oh, okay. So you're like 1 hour ahead of UK then. Yes, it's
But
10.
you sound like you stay up late or something because you sound a little bit sleepy. Do you usually go in that streams or what?
I mean,
And go through the night or what?
I'm well from depends. Like it could be like 4 or 5 in the morning here, or yeah. But I'm normally there, or I'm up, or if I'm sleepy. Yeah, my throat is a bit husky today. That's all. But I don't know
Yeah,
if
yeah,
it's
yeah. We were going to say that. I didn't find the word in
Who did you
English.
scream at, Friendly Muslim?
yeah. No,
What the-
I haven't been screaming actually. We've just been
okay.
not much.
Yeah,
I
At
went
least
well,
it's
over.
not good.
Actually, do you know what, Martin? This is the funny thing. Actually, I want to ask you about it because I've never seen
Mm,
Christians do this. Yeah, I went to this Christian
mm.
channel, and they were throwing each other out of Christianity because they didn't. Two people didn't agree on Isaiah 53. So on Isaiah 53, one was saying it was Jesus, one was saying that it was Israel and Jesus. And because the guy was saying it was Israel and Jesus, they were like, "You're not a Christian. You don't believe in the word, and you don't believe in the Bible. You're not a Christian." Does that ever happen? Like, have you ever witnessed based that sort of scriptural difference and Christians getting angry with each other and telling
Yeah,
each other?
obviously people get angry about all kinds of things with each other.
Yeah, but I've
I'm
never
glad.
seen over
Hmm?
Isaiah 53 though.
Yeah, you have to show me this because I haven't also seen this Christians getting angry about that scripture. They usually don't talk about that, but unless they're talking with Muslims or something. But it's not a make or break for Christianity. Like, if a Christian doesn't believe it, he's not going to go to hell if he thinks it's just for Jesus or if it's for um, both as two meanings. So
Okay. Can I say something?
yes, Muji.
Yeah. This is the meeting that they were going to blow up. You see, those are U.S. senators, and these were the
Where's
crowd.
Muji?
I'm inside this crowd with my family. Yeah, and the target was she. She's elected exiled president. Okay, and those are, for example, one of them Giuliani, and then head of the U.S. Senate as well. So many people like that. Former French uh, foreign minister, two former Canadian prime minister. She was now saying hello. All these people were there. So these terrorists, they were going to kill all these people, hundreds of people like these. Okay, and
Luckily, they failed.
yes, luckily they were under the watch from the time that he came, the terrorist guy, the diplomat. He brought the bomb with diplomatic passport. So they saw the bomb, but they didn't say anything. They let him to pass. Understand? So this intelligence service, they knew, and then they let him to give the bomb to those terrorists, and then later they caught those terrorists before they reached Paris. Yeah, and they caught the guy, the diplomat terrorist. And you see such a crowd. You see friendly Muslim. Okay, this is what that Armin Nabawi, when I say he's talking trash, he said this organization is hated by Iranian people. This is the biggest organization. Okay, friendly Muslim. And you see
Yeah, no, I'm
such,
with you, bro.
yes,
But
such a
the
crowd.
problem is, mate. The problem is,
Hmm.
and I don't know if you're gonna go on Tuesday or whatever.
Yeah,
Um, just like literally 5 minutes. You know
yeah,
all his objections. Yeah, like when you said, "Oh, the mullahs they wrote a letter, they were arguing." Like, do you have proof of that letter? Like, there was something you mentioned, and you said, "Oh, but the mullahs had a letter, they were arguing against it," or something like that. I remember you were saying, and
letter.
then
Yes. Hmm.
yeah, like different points you were making. Like,
Okay.
okay, fine. When you say they're this, but okay, in 2012 they were delisted. Like all the bits of evidence that you
Okay.
have to counter his points. I
Yeah.
really wish you would just have a like literally very quickly. He all the points that you want to make, just say and put the um evidence in the private chat at the link,
Yeah.
and then he can actually go
No.
through it, or email him
Yeah.
beforehand
Yeah.
and say, I have all this evidence, can we go through it? I think he's fit. I mean, I've talked to him about it, and
Hmm.
I said, listen, just give him a chance to present his
Yeah. Look,
evidence.
the thing is that when I say, the court has rejected this, I have the court, I have the video even. Okay, I have the video ready. I've done this before, and I have it on my channel. I can show it right now if you want. So when he said that, oh, because uh, yes, they might be these, yeah, terrorists and so on, but we cannot prove it. And I gave him this, argument that I cannot say that friendly Muslim is a mass murderer, but I cannot prove it. So this is crazy. Yeah, just because I cannot prove it, then it means that I'm lying when I cannot. So you cannot say
Okay,
that.
so when he said, okay, there's all these people that I've said after they left, they
Mhm,
were subject to torture and this, that, and the other. Do
mhm.
you have any other proof than the proof that you gave?
Okay. Yes. Okay. The proof is that what is it? The court. Okay. I gave it. I think I played a show that the court in Germany, for example, one journalist in Spiegel, she wrote these allegations, and
I know.
organization
Anything
came
other
and
than that, mate?
anything other than that. He knows himself. He said it before. There was this Human Rights Watch, yeah, U.S. Human Rights Watch. They also gave this allegation, and then later, with everybody, even he himself, he realized that the person who gave this allegation to that human rights, her name was Elahe Hicks. Yeah, everybody know that he's Iranian agent. Now she's totally, he himself knows, and at last time I talked
Yeah,
to him,
but
he said,
is there any evidence that you can present? Muji, the problem is, mate, yeah, and I really
okay,
need you to listen.
okay,
You are.
okay,
It's
look,
not for him. It's for the
no,
audience listening, and
no,
the
no,
audience are completely lost when you call in, and you're
okay,
saying things. If you could just concisely in 5 minutes address all the points with
yeah.
evidence, it would be very beneficial.
Okay, look. It's like this, that I come and say friendly Muslim is a mass murderer. Okay, then friendly Muslim has to bring evidence that he's not a mass murderer. It's not possible. I have to bring the evidence, not you. That friendly Muslim killed this
Muji,
person.
if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
trying
yeah,
to if people have the wrong idea about your organization,
yeah.
then
Okay,
why not do your organization a favor rather than be a hard bum about it?
okay.
Be and say he has to provide the evidence. He's saying this. He has to do this. Why don't you just say this is what we're
But
about?
tell me,
This is what they've said,
friendly
and
Muslim.
present your
No,
case. That's it,
no, my
bro.
brother. No, my brother. I say the when if I say that you are a mass murderer, how can you prove that you are not if there is no such evidence? I mean,
Okay, you know the claims that people make against MEK. Yes or
yes,
no?
yes, I
Is
know,
there
and
evidence? If there is any evidence to
yes,
support that goes against what
their
people
claim.
say?
Look. Is there any evidence that their claims is correct? No. So when there is no such a evidence, then the claims are false. This is
Okay,
the way.
so
This is
have
the
you?
way court. This is the way court goes. Okay. If I go and say that friendly Muslim to a court, I say friendly Muslim is a murderer. Okay. Then the court say, bring me your evidence. They don't ask friendly Muslim, bring evidence that you are innocent. Okay.
Okay, so for example, Holy Arm is saying defectors tell about torture and forced sterilization
Okay.
in Omar militant Iranian cult. Search YouTube about MEK.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So,
now,
okay.
is there anything that goes against this accusation?
Yes, all members can go say that no, this is absolutely trash. Such a thing hasn't happened. Okay, and I know many of them in
I know.
Stockholm.
Other than you knowing them, is there any other evidence that you could provide to counter what this person, Holy Armor, has said?
Listen, I mean, what kind of evidence you are looking for? Can you
I don't
tell
know
me?
any story, anything, action that they took,
This
anything.
is the story. Yeah, this is the story. I say that the members, they say it's a lie. There is such a thing hasn't happened. It's just Iranian regime says such a things. Okay, they have to provide evidence that okay, yeah, here it happens, torture happened here, and so on. Okay, when they cannot prove it, then they are like, for example, Quran says, brother, you know yourself. Quran says that if somebody says that this person has committed adultery, he has to bring 4 witnesses and prove it. If he cannot prove it, then slash him. Okay, so it is not that I have to bring evidence that I am innocent. You who what is it? Blame me, or how do you say it? You have to bring the proof. You have to bring the what is it? Evidence. You have to bring the witnesses, not me. I have to bring the witnesses that no, I haven't done. Yeah, of course I can bring also witness. I can bring hundreds of people say that no, this is wrong. Do you accept that? Okay, the court has accepted. The court has accepted that these are false allegation. That's why the court, German court, find this. What is it? Spiegel. Spiegel is a magazine. It's a very famous magazine. Said that if next time you say such a trash, we will fine you 250,000 euros. Okay, and we put you in jail. So that's why they fired that. Spiegel fired that what is it, journalist who is an Iranian what is it, friendly journalist. I can show you right now a picture of her.
Okay, Muji, on Tuesday when you call in, is there any new evidence or any new things that you're going to show, or you're going to be able to show?
I mean, evidence. As I said, I can first. This is a great evidence. For example, for you, for anyone to know that MEK has support, as he says that Iranian people hate MEK. Not a government can even bring. There is no single organization or what is it, opposition group that can bring 100 Iranian people, okay, anywhere to to protest against Iranian regime. So when you have 100,000 people in such a place, then it means that what he says is trash. Yeah, what Iranian regime says is trash, and a
Okay,
regime that
so this
a
person,
regime,
sorry,
yes.
this person is saying parents of Iranians have went all the way to Albania and tried through court trying to get their children out from their base in Albania. That's another allegation.
Well,
Is
let
that
me
true?
see what he said. Can you
Holy
please read?
armor. Parents of Iranians have went all the way to Albania and tried through court trying to get their children out from their base in Albania. Is that true?
Okay,
Or
okay. Listen, uh, these are not children; these are adult people. Okay, and Iranian regime, they they either force or they somehow they take these. In Albania, they haven't brought anyway. It was in Iraq. They were bringing these relatives to take them out because they didn't want to that their children fight against Iranian regime. Okay, and what is it? They are not children. For example, I'm 59. If I was there, for example, they would maybe bring my mother, say that, oh, I want my child. I'm adult myself. I can decide myself. I don't need my mother to, Iranian regime provoke them and try to and then these so-called relatives, we have the proof. Yeah, these so-called relatives, they were having 300 loudspeaker when the MEK was in Iraq. Yeah, Iraqi Shia government was also supporting them, helping them, so that they torture MEK members. If you are relatives, you are not going to torture your children here. And they were saying that we are going to destroy you, we are going to kill you all, and so on. So what kind of relatives are these people? Okay, so these are all Iranian agents. Okay, some of them are like relatives, some of them are not at all. Okay, so these are trash allegation because there is not a single child in this Albania. They are all adults. They are all over 18, 20, 50, even 60, and so on. So nobody can come and say, you are my child, I want to take you out of there. Do you think that's fair, friendly Muslim? That somebody, my mom comes, and if I'm there, for example, my mom comes and say, you are my child, I want to take you out. Excuse me, I'm adult. My mother doesn't want me to go, for example, in demonstration. Many times tell me, don't do that because she's a mother. Okay, she doesn't want me to get harmed. But I'm adult myself and I know what I'm going to do. Understand what is right and what is wrong. I don't need my mother to teach me or to tell me what to do and what not to do. As long as I'm under below 18, yes. But now I'm adult enough to decide what to do. Okay? Do you understand, friendly Muslim?
yeah, man, I just think that you've got to. I think it would help if you've
Yeah.
got a concise case when you call in. If you call in, But if not, then if you haven't got anything new, then there's no point sort of having any more debate with him or whatever there else is. I don't know
No,
where you left it with him. He said call back next week then, and have you got anything new you can show or any new information to support anything? Then
okay. Let me find something with you.
I mean, don't show me. I'm not bothered either. I just want you to put a solid case that
No,
it
but
can be shown. That's all.
I
But it
mean,
just seems that
okay. The thing is that solid case I don't have. As I said, that he has to prove, uh, and they have to prove what they blame, they say. Okay, not we, and they don't have a single proof. Okay, and let me find. Okay, do you see this part? Okay, all right. Okay,
yeah,
do you see this? This is I don't know if you're here. This guy, he's General Philip. Okay, he's General Philip, and he was the one who was sent by U.S. Army. Okay, to disarm MEK when they were in Ashraf. Okay, in Iraq, and the U.S. Army government had told him that these are terrorists that you are going to disarm. Okay, when he came there and he realized that no, these people are not terrorists. These people are highly educated. These people are very nice, and he started to become, to know them and listen to him what he says and what he called from his cell phone to his daughter. Listen to his daughter, please. Okay, let me play it.
But there was some negative. On the negative side, they accused me of using my daughter's name in vain. Oh, those foolish people. They don't know my daughter. Like the women of the MEK, my daughter's dedication and determination is a scary thought to the mullahs of Iran. So for those of you that said I used my daughter's name in vain in that letter, why not hear it from her?
As my father said, my name is Sarah Phillips and I am his daughter. I'd like to tell you a little bit of history about how I came to learn about the people of Ashraf. There's a special group of women who do not just let their lives be dictated for them. My father, who was in Iraq at the time, told me, he called me on his international cell phone. I was in a dorm room at the time. I remember him calling and saying, Sarah, I've found your modern day Amazons, those women warriors, the type that you are always seeking and reading about. You will never guess. He told me you will never guess where I have found them. It was that day that I learned about these brave women. And actually what was almost more shocking to me is the fact that it wasn't just women, there was men standing at their side in defiance of tyranny. I learned about the Mujahideen Nikak, and I begged my father, I begged him, let me meet these women. Even better, let me take their mantle and let me fight with them. They'd managed to not only break stereotypes and roles, but they'd overcome insurmountable odds to rise up to a position of authority and power. These women and men of the MEK believe in democracy and equal rights. They believe in freedom. What a beautiful word, freedom. The Webster's Dictionary defines freedom as the quality or state of being free, the absence of necessity, coercion, or constraint in choice or action. Liberation from restraint from the power of another. Soon after I learned of the people of Camp Ashraf, I began corresponding with several of them. My father has given many speeches lately defending his stance that the MEK should be taken off the terrorist list. Many of you believe him, and you know this to be true as well. But for those of you that might question this, that might question the stance of my father and even his character using his daughter as a tool, I want to tell you something. When my father first took over in Iraq, and this is a true
I stop it now. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cheers, Muzi. I'm gonna go now. There's a lot of threes there. It's 3 hours, 30 minutes, 33 minutes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'll see you
Take
next
care.
time. It was fun.
Martin, we might be running till like the early hours, like sort of 7, 8 in the morning, 9, 10. Like
I
sometimes
sleep
goes
super
to
late.
what you sleep in the mornings up until
Yeah,
like
I sleep like 10 hours sometimes.
Mhm,
okay.
okay.
Yeah,
All
when
right,
I come in,
well,
when I see, I usually see that stream when it's ending, like it's just starting to end, and then
are you
I
subbed?
can't just. Hmm?
Are
Yeah,
you
I'm sub.
subbed? All right, cool. All right, yeah, cool. Well, I
Okay.
mean, look, if you want to talk scripture or you want to go through scripture, like Isaiah or anything else like that, then just pop in and
Yeah, sure.
say you know me, and we'll go through any scriptures.
Okay.
It'll be good, man. We've had some good conversations. Like yesterday, we had a 5-hour conversation with a couple of Christians. It was quite fruitful. So
Okay.
it's
Awesome.
good to talk
See
about
you
scripture.
guys.
All right, take it
Cheers.
easy.
Take
God
care.
bless
Take
you
care, my
guys.
brother. God bless you,
Bye.
my brother. Take care. Cheers. Thank you. Yes, this is something. Is unfortunately this holy armor. Yeah, they were listed as terrorists in U.S. until recently. Same years, ag- some years ago, when U.S. started to sanction Iran. You see, friendly Muslim, my brother. Yeah, and needed some people Iranians they can use as opposition. Such a trash. I don't. My brother. It blow up my mind that people lie like this. The court, okay, a court in Washington and a court in London and a court in European Union. All these three courts, they ordered these governments to remove MEK from terrorist list because there was no a single evidence that MEK is terrorist. And they change it like this, such a trash. Can you imagine that they change it because they started to sanction Iranian regime? Excuse me, MEK was removed from terrorist list, U.S. terrorist list in 2012 when Obama, the biggest appeasement of Iranian fascist regime, was in power, and they didn't want to remove. I can bring for you the letter that when what is it court wrote to Hillary Clinton when she was the uh, former minister, foreign minister of USA, okay, that she wrote that, oh, I don't have time to take the care of this case and so on. The court said, shut up, okay, bring us evidence until this time or else we'll remove MEK from terrorist list. They gave her 4 more months and she couldn't come with a single evidence, and she removed them the last day that the court gave them. Even the last day, brother. Can you imagine? Not even a week before. The last day that was going, so it would be a shame for the government that the court take them out. So that's why the last day, it was end of October 2012, and she removed them from terrorists. There was no such a things, okay? If this holy armor or whatever comes online, okay,
Yeah,
call
do
in.
you ask them,
I will,
Holy Armor, would you like to come in and talk
yes,
to
there is, yes,
Muji
yes,
directly and have a
yes,
conversation?
yes,
I
please.
can
Here, yes,
moderate it, not a
yes,
problem.
yes. Here is the link. Oh no, sorry, that was the something. Yes, invite. Yeah, that was another copy. Okay, yeah, that was another one I had copied. Yes, here is the link. Come here, and I will ask you. There was another one, by the way. It was a few months ago, a friendly Muslim. There was another one who came also, and he was even lying, not saying about his nationality. Yeah, I think maybe it was the same person. Okay, he came and then he was grilled or whatever. Later he wrote, "Can you please delete the what is it, the video?" I said, "No, I'm
Oh
not
yeah,
going to."
yeah, that
Yeah,
guy who called in
yes,
and
that
he knew
yeah,
everything and blah
yes,
blah blah. Yeah.
yeah. And then he said that, can you delete anything the video? I said, no, I'm not going to delete it. Okay, if you are not educated, no, at least can you edit those parts that I was talking. I said, I'm not going to destroy several hours of my time. Okay, just because you had not enough knowledge. Perhaps it's the same one who has changed his name. So I never talk on. Okay, yeah, the same. You know, uh,
Okay.
yes. Excuse. If you have the minimum knowledge, you would come here and talk. Okay, all right. So don't say that. In 2012, MEK. In 2009, MEK was delisted from the European Union because European Union list because a court in London, friendly Muslim, a court
Mhm.
in London
You know, I
ordered.
know. I told him that
Yes,
they were
yes,
delisted in 2012.
yes.
So
No,
so
no, no,
that,
no. Wait,
that
wait, wait. In 2012 was USA. In 2009 was in UK. The court ordered UK to remove MEK from the list. The court, London court, yeah. And
Mhm.
when the UK government removed it, okay, then European Union removed it automatically because UK forced European Union to put. You know who put them? Jack Straw. Jack Straw was a corrupted foreign minister who was kicked out of the parliament a few years ago because of corruption. He was getting money from different companies, okay, to vote
Mhm.
for them in the parliament. You can read for Jack Straw. He was foreign minister of that, what it was, is that prime minister, Tony Blair. Tony Blair's foreign minister, okay? And he was the one who forced European Union because he was a lover of the mullahs in Iran, okay? So I have I tell you, I have a video. I can later play that. Anyway, so this Armin also he say himself that maybe I'm wrong, okay, because he knows that he's not.
Yeah,
He,
but this is the only thing I don't get, man. Like, if he's saying that, look, maybe I'm wrong. I'm
yeah,
happy for you to educate me.
yeah, yeah.
He even said, I'm happy for you to come on my Persian channel and
Mm,
talk there. Then why
okay,
don't you just put a simple case forward? Go back through those 2 times that
okay,
you called in, see what he's saying, and just see what other exterior evidence you have that would
okay,
support an argument against it. That's it. That's all I'm saying. It's better
okay.
for the audience,
All
and
right.
it's
So yes,
better for
yeah,
entertainment or news understanding.
yeah,
Both ways, it makes for better, because
yeah, yeah.
I know he's pretty much had it now. Like, within, like,
yeah,
what more can we discuss? You've
yeah,
put your case forward. Okay,
you know,
fine. Now we move on from it. But I think
mhm,
if you do call in like this time, then you should at least have something to
mhm,
show him, or email him before,
yeah,
and
yeah.
say, I want to cover these topics. That's all.
No, look, the best evidence, my brother, is three courts, not one, three courts, okay? European, British, and US court, because they got all the evidences from MEK, okay? I don't have those evidences with me. They brought all these evidences to the court, and court asked these governments, okay, which they had Iranian government on their back, that they courts was asking them, bring your evidences. All of them were saying that the evidences are classified because they didn't have any evidence. So you cannot say a terrorist attack happened here, but the evidence is classified. So none of them had the single evidence that MEK has been involved in such a activities. That's why the court says you don't have the proof, then we have to remove MEK from terrorist list because they are not terrorists, okay? And they are freedom fighters. Understand? So
Okay.
that's why I said these are the best evidence. I don't need to bring, those evidences that MEK, has presented to the court. When court has done it, then we should accept the court. If the court is not from a dictator government, the court is from democratic government countries, okay? And we know that the how do you say, the court is separated from the government, from the politic, yeah, politicians. They don't have, for example, now in Belgium, yeah, the Belgium government wanted to release this terrorist guy long before, but they couldn't influence the court. The court sentenced them to 20 years in jail. Okay, now they have passed a law in the parliament somehow to pass that court, because the courts are independent in these democratic countries. Okay, so those are the best evidence we have. All right, do you
Okay.
understand?
So all the other. Oh, okay, fine. So you've got that. Is there anything recent that you could, like, this new meeting, any movement, anything that is new that you can sort of entertain,
Yeah,
or
yeah, sure.
bring?
Yeah. So look, every year, right now, before you come, I said that tomorrow. Why I have this stream tonight is because tomorrow and day after tomorrow we were going to have this Zoom meeting, and in Albania now, and they are there. So, and several senators and so on, they are there also. So if you were going to have these annual meetings, large meeting tomorrow and day after tomorrow, U.S. Embassy warned that there might be a terrorist attack on MEK in Albania. That's why the Albanian government also suggested MEK to cancel this meeting. That's why they right away changed it to tonight. Okay, so that's why I supposed to participate tomorrow, but at the same time my phone is here. At the same time I was participating through Zoom on that meeting, and I was watching such a beautiful event was going on. And tomorrow, next week, I will show some clips from what was going on today there as well.
Yeah, email him before, man. Just make sure you email before, so then he's aware of how much time you need. Because I know he wants to do other stuff on those streams. So just email him ahead and say, look, I want to go through this. So you've got allocated time, yeah, and then he can either do his Patreons after he speaks to you, or in between, or whatever the case may be. Because
Okay.
there's other things happening also that he wants to talk about.
By the way, about his Persian channel, first of all, organization MEK says that if it is in English, it's totally different. But in Persian, organization has its own policy. They have their spokesman, and anybody want to talk about organization must go through organization itself. Okay, and for example, is like you ask, for example, Democrats in USA that we, for example, I call
Okay,
them.
no, okay. Do you know you can speak to anybody from them and ask them to speak to him or call into
No,
him or contact him?
the thing is that, my brother, many people, as I said, is like this. And now I call to Democrats and say, I want to talk to. They will say, who the hell are you that we have to talk to? It is, if CNN called them, if, for example, CBS called them, then definitely, yes, of course they do. So
Okay.
organization,
All right, so
yes,
like a proper media that
yeah,
they think, not
exactly,
some guy on YouTube. Okay, I'm with you. I get it. I
exactly,
get it. I
exactly.
get it.
Like for example, there is a channel called Iran International. Okay, they talk to them all the time. There is a Voice of America. They talk to them. They actually censor MEK, but otherwise, if they ask MEK with pleasure go and talk to them. Okay, so MEK is not going to talk to Armin. Who the hell is Armin? That MEK is it's a exile. You saw how many people, how many politicians they were there. Okay, so
Okay,
who the hell is Armin that want to talk to them? Okay, so
I'm
that's
with
why,
you.
yes, that's why, if Armin, I can talk to them in English side. Okay, and he knows everything himself, according himself. So I'm answering him, so I don't need to answer him in Persian. Okay,
Okay, no, that's fine. Fair enough.
yeah,
Not a thing. I thought it was a bigger
uh,
audience that he had on his Persian channel or something like that,
okay,
or
yes,
it would be
yes.
beneficial for you. All right, cool, bro. Oh, look,
Thank you, my brother. Yes, it has been
that's all good.
nearly, yeah, not
Uh,
nearly 4 hours. Okay.
yeah,
And
it's 4 hours.
by the way, yes,
Hmm.
by the way, before you come, maybe you missed it. There were some things about Bani Qurayza, and then how many Prophet Muhammad, how many children he had. I shared some links there. If you would like, you can watch it later, inshallah. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right.
All right,
Thank you, my
brother.
brother.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you. Yes, and holy armor. You can say you are the. I think you are the same guy who wanted to delete his video, but you are you are ashamed to come back again. You just like to write a lot of trash there in the comment. So if you would like, you just call next week. You can call anytime. Okay, anytime I have a stream, you can call. I can um, you know, ask you a question that you prove that you are absolutely, uneducated in this subject. Okay, take care, everybody. God bless you all. Peace and love. Okay, we get in touch next week, next weekend, and I can play this one before I go. Yes, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. We see each other next week. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. And God bless you, everybody. Take care. Bye.